So I have good news.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. My business with Pottery Barn has officially come to a close.
Oh, let's give this man 3 shots. 3 shots. There you go. 3 shots.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So I got my refund on both my things, which was the table and the bridge.
And they come pick it up?
And they came and picked up the bridge today.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Of all of it, there is still technically one open piece left, and that is I have not received the check for the damaged art in my house.
Oh, yeah.
But the check is supposed to have been mailed out today.
What the fuck is mailing checks?
I know.
It's just
A lot of companies do. I'll say that the last 2 companies I worked for independently, like companies, they mailed me a check. I think it's just a thing that the payroll process.
Yeah.
Like not payroll, but the way they balance the books, they've got to have that. Because I said, can you just transfer me? So we can set up a wire transfer. I'm like, what? No, I'm not.
just send it to your
Just send
account,
them
and
my
then they
PayPal.
just have their own electronic paperwork. It's just old people running.
Listen,
old shit.
I will tell you, like the business I work in, like this new gig I've taken on is a lot more of the back end of the way everything works. And it's very eye opening to see how much of this shit's held together with fucking toothpicks and bubble gum. MacGyver's over here fucking creating invoices and shit. And like, I just boggles my mind how much actual paper is still moved around.
They rather just do a bunch of extra work to hold on to the old shit instead of just do a little bit of work and set it yourself up for the future.
I know. It's wild.
I've almost got my office set up.
It looks very nice.
Thank you.
I haven't given it a deep walkthrough.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I know every single thing in there is in a specific place for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And I haven't had time to take that in.
Yeah.
So, and also, you haven't told me that it's okay because I have a feeling. You're probably still.
No, I'm fine tuning some
that
things.
foot.
Yeah. No.
But 2 degrees inward.
But I am like I haven't hung stuff on the walls yet that I want. I'm waiting for some pictures to come in because I'm putting like framed pictures in there, like so I got a couple things, odds and ends left, but like I'm trying to like not look at it and hate it because of the experience that I've had.
Yeah,
and not feel all the resentment and anger and frustration
boiling in.
Yeah, between that and the computer. I mean, it all happened simultaneously.
You have any updates on that?
No, other than the one place I took it to cannot fuck with it.
Oh boy.
So they gave me the number to 2 other places that I'm going to reach out to and pray for the best.
Listen, before we go any further,
Yeah.
we got to do something about the mood in here because it is
after dark.
Nerd Rage After Dark. And you know what made me think of it was there's a candle that's obviously been lit on the table,
Yeah.
which is funny because I've recently gotten a candle on my desk in my office. My office, so to speak.
I almost burned this bitch down to the ground the other day.
Oh, wow. That would have sucked. You need some help there, bud?
No, I just tossed I was tossing something like to get it out of the way, and it like if it would have landed on the candle, which was you'll see it's a raging wick as it were. But had it landed,
Man, that's a great name for like boner pills.
had it landed
Raging wick.
2 inches to the left, game over, lights out Tony.
Yeah.
Or lights on Tony in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so other than that, I'm very grateful for that. And so let me tell you what my issue is. The next project that I want to do is I want a new kitchen table set, right? And I want it to be like a bench situation, like a booth.
But it's got
Hang on. There's a difference.
You love them booths.
So to be like an L booth and then a bench.
Like Waffle House?
I guess so.
Okay.
But like
I thought you were saying just like
it'll start along the wall, curl around. That'll be booth.
Oh, okay.
Table,
yeah, you want to inset
bench.
Yeah. We had a setup kind of like that back, in Alabama.
Where are you from?
Yeah. Well. Is that from South Park?
I think so.
I'm just now putting that together.
But anyway, so I fell in love with this booth. There's like, it's like pieces. There's like a corner piece, straight piece, whatever. And guess where it's from?
Pottery Barn.
Yeah. So
yeah.
No.
And I fell in love with it before the fallout. Right.
Leaves only fall in the fall.
So anyway, they have people that you can call and they'll like come out and do like a consultation of your space and everything. And we're going to do that.
With Pottery Barn.
With Pottery Barn, because that's free. That's free.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And if I can deal with just this lady and not anybody else, and I have her personal contact information.
It's the aftermath is wrong because this is what happens with me with Heckingers. Fucking Heckingers, Jesus Christ!
Throwback.
What can you fill
Home Depot.
Hi, 1986. Do you want your
is that?
hardware store back?
Heckingers?
Yeah. You don't know Heckingers?
Why would I know what that is?
I think it was local.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It's a chain. It's like,
It's a local chain.
I guess before there was Home Depot, all the Home Depots were Heckingers. Yeah. There's like a blue.
Well, then apparently Home
Yellow.
Depot bought Heckingers.
And I want to say that H was like made out of rulers or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like same color scheme as Blockbuster.
We just well, you see how that worked
I
out.
think it was
like
blue
yellow
and
and
white.
blue.
I think it was blue and
Blue and
white.
white.
Blockbuster.
But the Home Depot design store, same thing. They came out. The lady, the designer, great. The rep that sold the appliances, everything was great. The person that came out to do the measuring, everything was great. Everything was great. But the problem is the third party stuff.
Yeah.
It's that like this intermediary, because after they're done designing stuff for you and they ordered the stuff for you, and then a different company just like you do the delivery and the installation and and shit.
Yes.
And when they fuck it up,
But I have to say, the delivery was the smoothest part. Like that the third party company was a pleasure to deal with. Like when they broke the shit.
Yeah.
I called them. I was like, hey, you broke the shit. They're like, oh, send us the picture of the item broken. Send us the quote for how much it costs, and we'll send you a check.
yes. But when it comes to like the intermediary for your party brand, like Home Depot,
for that lady will lose control of that at some point.
she does not
Once it goes to the vendors.
To delivery.
like once like when my
But the delivery is what I'm saying. It's been
Right. I'm just,
yeah.
she won't have any control over. That's all we're saying.
No,
I know.
Your expectation of having this ride or die.
No. I get that, but my thing is that like I had only issues with Pottery Barn and no issues with the third party delivery.
Yes,
service,
agreed.
Which is Pantone or some shit. It's the company they
I
use.
think it was a bread.
No, that's colors.
Same one. Like a bunch of them use it, but like they were great. So I'm okay with that. It's getting it to that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I still haven't got my refund for my toilet. It takes 3. It was 2 months before they took the toilet back, and I still haven't gotten a refund a month later.
I think they're full of shit.
I see what he did.
Hey, if I was you, I would be pissed off.
It's fucking insane, man. Like how people can just take your money and not give it back to you once you've given back their merchandise.
That is and it's stupid because like we had to return the toilet. Well, it didn't have to return the toilet. It was missing a part, like a bolt, a single bolt. But they cannot send me the bolt. They have to send me a whole new toilet and take the whole toilet back because of procedures.
Right.
And that was a problem. And then there was a whole fucking 2 months. And before we finally was like, we're just going to buy our own toilet. And then we just returned this. Like they could not fucking figure out how to just give me a fucking bolt.
Yeah.
Well, having worked on that side of it, the issue is it's probably easier from an inventory standpoint to just send you another unit and have that one back.
For inventory, but then they have
Right.
like the amount of money costs the company. They have to send a whole truck just to come.
I know.
You know what you should have said is like, hey, send the truck and I'll have the toilet ready for pickup. And then you open up the box, take the one bolt, and it's ready, all boxed up, ready to go.
Right. And then just take a shit. And then just take a shit in the other one.
Yeah.
It came like this.
But anyway, so I might have them out. I don't know because I can't find anything that's like what do they call it? Like comparable, like So I don't know. We'll see.
Restaurant supply, man. I'm serious. You might look at a restaurant
But
supply place.
this thing is beautiful, and I fell in love with it before all the fucking crisis. But it's my own fault if it goes left. It's my own fault for sure, and I'm not committing to it either.
Hey, shame on.
Yeah.
Shame on.
There's a saying in Texas.
Can't get fooled again.
Fool me, can't fool me again.
It might be in. I forget what state he was in at the time. He's like, "There's a state in Texas."
No, he said there's a saying in Texas. I know in Tennessee. It might be in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me, you can't fool me again. Is how it goes.
You can't fool me again.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like the beginning of the
Oh, so cute and harmless.
of the poorly spoken presidents, with the exception of
Well, there was one president there.
Yeah, with the exception of Obama, he could speak well.
Trump speaks well, I guess, right?
Not anymore.
So I guess he speaks well to a certain demographic.
He's made some huge mistakes.
So like,
Has he?
I'm
He said
so,
Nikki Haley was in charge of security for the riots, and obviously Nikki Haley was running against him. Hey, that's an old man mental slip up.
I'm so embarrassed that it's going to be those two again.
Me too. The entire world is laughing at us.
Yeah. But I am looking forward to the chaos.
Did you? I saw this clip. You know that Marjorie something. Johnson. She's like from Georgia. She's super MAGA. I don't know if she's in the Senate or the House of Representatives. Like she was at the State of the Union wearing full MAGA gear.
Yeah, sorry.
And
Yeah,
there's this. Honestly, this is probably the first time I've seen something and been like, I don't know if that's real or not. But it's funny. It's like it shows him walking in, and it shows him seeing her, and then he kind of does this like, ooh, kind of like he tightens his mouth up and like puts his hands up, and
she's like it's screaming almost. I feel like.
And it was just so funny because he was like doing this like, why am I scared of you kind of face at her. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Politics
know.
are dumb.
How much longer can we laugh before it's not funny anymore? I'm worried.
Oh, it's not funny now.
I know it's not.
No.
But like, how much longer till we can't really laugh at it anymore?
I'm just finally. The
When
rest
we're-
of the world
when we're
probably
in line
very
for-
soon.
When we're
I
in line
have
for bread.
I have gallows humor, so I'll be laughing
Yeah.
until I die.
Yeah.
I'm
love
still
that.
because
Gallows
I'm
humor.
just like whatever. None of this works. Nothing matters.
I'll be laughing.
You know,
like,
I can laugh now, but
I'll
like,
be laughing like the fucking Joker. Just until it all burns to the ground. Like
Probably easier, honestly, than to woe yourself.
like I'll have my complaints and my criticisms, my rational thought also, and then I'll also be laughing. Like because I can see both sides.
It's good people.
because I feel like I'm starting to run out of the laughing. I'm still laughing. It's still funny to me, but like I feel like it's coming to a point when it's like, oh man, there's nothing to laugh at anymore.
Maybe
So, like-
they should have pushed political science as a major more than.
So this is what
got
I
it.
honestly think. Like the presidents have been so bad for so long. Like I don't like.
Okay, what was the last good president?
In my opinion,
Sure.
Clinton.
Okay.
So like they've been so bad for so long. It just goes to show that like the system kind of works in a way where we don't really need them to keep the boat afloat. Doesn't mean there won't be rocky waters ahead. There very well be, but the boat can keep coasting as long as whatever lunatic is in charge.
Well, he's not in charge. The thing is
Right.
the three fucking things to check.
Are
and
you talking
balance
about
each
the
other.
executive, the judicial,
Yes,
and
that.
what's the other one? Economic?
It's the
Executive.
That's the president.
It's the legislative guys, where they make the decisions for us.
But like, so the one douchebag doesn't ruin the whole thing. But when all three are shitty at some
Yeah.
point, it's just like, then what?
Yeah, but there's enough
What-
like.
what is it to keep
but
check of?
so the thing is like, there's enough like infighting and bullshit where like nothing really changes.
But if you,
Do you know what I mean? It's a gradual change.
yes,
but it's
because
like-
nobody gives more than a handful, and then that's all you get
what
is
is it?
handfuls back and
It's a
forth.
system. You can't afford to be neutral on a moving train, bro.
I don't know that, but I need to think about that more before I comment on it.
Like if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. If you think first, you're last. That's what Ricky Bobby said.
Well, no, there's second, third.
I mean, it's like,
Who told you that? You did. That's bullshit.
If everything's moving forward and you're staying the same, you're falling behind.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
You know?
No. But I think this. So yes. Okay. Now let me catch up to your metaphor. But the train is moving so slowly that like we got some wiggle room to like fix it. It's like the fork in the road is like a mile up, but we've been moving like an eighth of a mile per 8 years. Is how I feel about it. Anyway, you guys kind of came in at the same time, so to speak.
It's like a good porn.
Yep. But Chris, you got your coffee first. So Joey, how was your nerd week?
Watched a really bad movie.
That seems to be par for the course.
Wait, let me make sure I'm seated.
Hold on. Was it foreign?
I'm clutching my
Okay,
pearls.
it was not foreign. Was it a horror movie?
No.
Okay. Was it a streamer, or was it a theatrical release?
I have no idea anymore.
Would you think it would have been based on that? Okay. All right. Let's go a different direction.
Probably. Yes. Maybe.
Okay. All right. Were there was there talent on screen that you were familiar with?
Yes.
Okay. In that aspect, was it disappointing?
Oh, we should do
Yes.
20 questions.
I mean,
think
you
that's what
already
we're
got
doing.
10 of them.
Except the problem is that like I don't know anything that's out.
Exactly.
I'm like Aquaman 2.
I think this came out like maybe last year.
Okay.
2 years. I don't keep track anymore.
All right.
But we're just like sometimes after dinner or during dinner we just scroll and we're just like instead of scrolling like 20, 30 minutes like some people do and then turn the TV off and not watch anything, we'll just be like fuck it and we'll just click on something to watch. In the genre that we want to watch. What do we feel like? Movie or show? Movie. What do we feel like? Horror, drama, fucking action? Action? Okay, all right. And then we'll just start scrolling. It's like, that looks fine. And hit it.
So, what was it?
It's called Last Seen Alive with Gerard Butler and the lady who played Civ in Thor. The lady,
Light-skinned lady?
Thor's friend.
Kinda
Thor's
like-
friends, the three of them with the Punisher and the,
Yeah, but I can't. Oh,
and the Asian
was it-
guy.
So was it the black chick or like the muscle bound chick?
No. The one of the originals.
It's neither of those.
No.
fit.
Remember
Oh,
the first movie? It was him, Loki, and he got like 3 friends: an Asian guy, a white guy who was the Punisher,
yeah.
Ray, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
and the girl.
yeah,
Just
I
a girl.
can barely.
Okay.
remember. Okay, fair
Okay.
enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I'm going to look up who it is while you tell the story about this movie.
Like the premise was interesting enough, but it was just too
What was it?
unrealistic.
Give me the name again.
Last Seen Alive. So the movie starts off with
I wish it was a horror movie based on the Lassies franchise, and it was Lassies Alive.
like a zombie.
Yes. Lassie is buried in Pet Cemetery. It's a crossover universe.
So what would she bring you to?
What is happening?
I don't know. That I don't know.
She's got to be luring you to something.
Yeah, that's true.
Lures you to the one and pushes you in it.
This chick.
Okay, so she's got to
That-
lure
that's-
you.
yeah.
She's got to lure you to the cure, but she has to fight her own hunger the entire time.
Oh,
It's an internal struggle.
do you get a dog internal dialogue?
No,
Lure
it's all done with digital facial animation.
Oh, like Lion King live action.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
Lassie's alive.
Lure for the cure.
That's
a
what
tagline.
Lassie's alive. Lure for the cure.
That's the second one.
We don't need AI to come up with ideas, all right?
No, we just need AI now to animate all this.
You just put that into the chat GPT or whatever the fuck it'll spin out a movie.
Create me 400 million images telling this story.
So the movie starts with a guy, husband and wife driving
Yes.
to the in-laws' house. They're
I hate it already. I'm kidding.
He's going to drop her off, and then you see some, hear flashbacks here and there, and they're like having marital problems. Or they've had marital problems, and they're just like working things out. They're both trying. But
like it.
They're gonna take a little breather. He's going to drop her off at the parents, and then before the weekend or whatever.
Okay.
It's starting to run out of gas, and it was like, I can make it, but I should probably just get some gas. So they stop at the gas station. She goes in, right, and he's pumping gas, and then she's gone.
Oh, I remember seeing this trailer for this.
So it goes in is it in a theater?
That doesn't mean that it was in
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
But let me look that up.
Yeah.
And then like the movie follows him trying to find his wife. Or for what happened to his wife and then find his wife. I thought it looked like it was an action movie. It's in an action genre. It has some actions in it, but like that wasn't like it wasn't like a super action movie where he's rolling around shooting people and shit.
Right.
Like he's playing a more normal dude. But everyone's unlikable in it. All the characters anyway.
Netflix. Straight to Netflix.
But all the
Although it was, I don't know how big of a deal this was. It was the number one watch thing on Netflix for an undetermined amount of time. Might have been 15 seconds.
when it first came out?
When it dropped, the first 2.5 hours were pretty intense.
And that counted people watching that forced trailer that comes on. That counted toward watch.
we don't know how the numbers work.
No.
No, it's magic.
I bet you they don't either.
But the interesting premise, and I could have been a better movie. But maybe because I have seen too much true crime stuff, and like none of the people acted rationally. They don't seem like they seem like real humans, but not in that situation. They were all believable characters that were not in that situation.
Okay. So, barring any kidnapping, or run
Like,
away.
well, actually, maybe it makes sense. Okay, imagine you. This is you and Laura.
Got my thinking cap on, man.
It's you and Laura. All right, you lost Laura. This is like 10, 15 minutes.
I imagine that all the time. Like, not as a fantasy, but just like, she's gonna leave. She's definitely gonna leave any day now.
And you're frantic. You call the police, and then you don't know what to do. You're driving around. You drive to her parents' house, which is like 10 minutes away.
45, yeah.
I mean, from this gas station.
I know. But yeah, got you. Following.
And then they start berating you for losing her. Does that make sense?
Wow, does that track?
That would make sense for you, right?
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, why would that doesn't make sense to me? I'm like, if I were to go
I
to
think that's
Krista's
actually
house,
a very human thing. I'll tell you, like, to anybody out there, and maybe you, Christopher, I don't know if we've ever had this talk. If you've ever been a parent, and you've been the primary caregiver for a period of time, otherwise known as daddy daycare, and the child gets hurt on your watch, you know that blame is coming your way.
Absolutely.
even if it's not your fault.
Even if it's not your fault, you know it's coming your way. You let it happen. So, like, there's been times, one time in particular, I mean, it's documented. It was on Shattered Cast when fucking Selena got all that soap in her eye.
Yeah, no, I remember that story. Jesus.
And it was, I mean, to be fair and honest and true to myself, keep it to Shattered Cast. I mean, it's my negligence, honestly. You know, like, I wasn't watching her.
I mean,
and
I'm
she
supposed to
got
watch
she got into some shit. Well, so that's
24/7?
So that's the answer.
Just-
You can't watch them all the time, right? That's fair too.
Yeah.
That's fair too. But it's also true that I wasn't watching her when it happened because I would have stopped it and we would have circumvented all this shit, right? And Laura never came at me, but you just know that there's this thought of,
Why weren't you watching?
or wouldn't have happened if I was here, or, you know, any of those type of things. And it's something I think that men deal with more than women, because I think that women are more attentive. They want to watch the every step, and men are kind of like sink or swim, you know, until it gets real. And they're like, oh, fuck, we should have been there.
If it was too quiet or too loud, then you go check on it.
Yeah. And like, but you know, like, I think that's a very natural gut reaction for humans is something tragic happens, right? And instead of figuring out, okay, where did it come from?
Right.
What happened?
Right.
Where's it going? No, blame China.
Yep.
But look,
Right? Like Wuhan. Like think about COVID. Nobody was asking at first, like, okay, what are the symptoms? What are the, like, where did it come? Like, how do you fix it? What is
China.
it? You know, it's like fucking Wuhan did it. Fucking, that's who's to blame. I think there is something about, at least Western culture, that's like, somebody's gotta pay.
that's why I think that's why I excel at work a lot of times. It's because I'm not that guy.
I thought it was because you're feasting on revenge in your mind while you're doing your job.
I'm a problem-solving person. If there's a problem, I don't care about anything other than solving the problems first, and now figure out what happens after.
So hang on. After you get done with that, will you check out the hook because the DJ revolve it? If there's a problem, I'll solve it.
So that same mentality is problem solving mentality. Also, they're just solving a different problem.
Rob Van Winkle.
They're solving an easier problem.
The
right?
blame, because that doesn't help with the
Correct.
That's not actually a solution.
Correct.
That's not actually a problem that needs to be solved.
So sometimes, So sometimes, like, remember, there was some basketball player, right? He was like
Shaq.
I don't think so.
LeBron James.
So we're gonna run out of people that I know very quickly.
Am I done?
No, Michael Jordan. No, it was okay. Let me say this: it was nobody I know.
Great.
Offhand.
All right, I might know this story though.
I want to say that somebody threw something at him from the stands, and he went into the stands and punched.
Oh
something.
yeah, you're talking about Malice in the Palace. You're talking about the brawl that broke out at the Detroit game when they were playing the Pacers, and it was Ron Artest.
But he punched the wrong person.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but somebody had to pay.
Well, but like the whole thing just, I mean,
but I think
was the whole thing.
I'm not saying,
that's a very human reaction.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at, is I do think it is a very true human reaction.
A year and a half.
I'm about trying to rise above your animal self and be something better.
I think most people should strive for that.
Yeah.
But like when, you know, a starving dog, you know, when we see how loyal they really are, like, it's like that is the kind of nature, is to like, fuck, that's super hard. That's super fucking hard. We got to find this bitch, right? But you know what's easy? Fucking blaming your ass. Because you have this emotion, right? And you want to figure out where to put the emotion. It's like you need an outlet for it. And I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining it.
It makes sense.
You know, so like you can't, you're dealing with this like pain and sadness and despair, right? Despair is a super powerful emotion. But instead of handling that, if I can get a pressure relief valve and just blame you for a minute and get some of this energy out, I get it. So I do think it's real. I do think it's a fair reaction.
It's
not the best reaction. Yeah, it's not the best reaction, but I think it's an honest.
Not only does it not help solve a problem, it makes things worse. Because like you have a problem that's still there, but now you've made things worse by adding more negativity.
And I don't know anybody. The fact that they pulled up and they did that, said that, I can't realistically think someone would really react that way.
Right.
That's storytelling.
Let's go look for her.
Think about 9/11.
9?
Who did it? Who did it?
Well, the difference is, to be fair, just like the soap in the eye thing, it's like you're talking about something that's already done, right? Where for this, it's like the lady just went missing, like within the hour,
right?
Like there's still time to solve the problem. It's not like you found her dead and then you blame it. She fucking dead because of you.
Yes, but at the time, motherfuckers thought we were going to find people in that rubble. You know what I mean? Like, that was a real thought. We were like, oh, we're going to get probably 30, 40 of them at least. You know what I mean? Like, you get like fucking none. You know? Like, so like, but the human reaction was, who fucking did it? Osama. I never heard of him, but fuck him. And you know what I mean? Like, that's what it becomes, right? Like, because you need this outlet for energy. I'm not justifying it. Like, I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I do think it's interesting to understand the human reaction to something of like, it's a path of least resistance.
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense.
It's easy.
It just like it makes sense, but it's not rational to me. But then emotions aren't rational.
Right.
I don't know. I'm trying to overcome emotions with rationality is like a thing I've always tried to work on.
Right.
In my life. Just keep that shit in check. You know. Otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's part of the human struggle in general. You know, is like.
I mean, does that what end up making someone a better, like, good person versus bad person? Someone who like let the baser instincts take over versus someone who fights it and like overcomes it.
So I think both. Right. I think the person that becomes too cold and does not understand the emotion is also doomed. Right. Like that lacks
like Manhattan.
In a way that lacks the empathy, that lacks the sympathy. You know, like, I think you have a lot of that. Even when sometimes I'm like, man, like, them motherfuckers made that bad, Jack. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you err more on that. So I think that's actually an example of where you err more on the side of emotions over logic.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's just where it lies.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good nerve rage talk right there, man.
That's why I watch bad movies.
Oh, now it all comes to fruition.
It gives me things to think about and talk about. Like, I've experienced a whole spectrum of humanity, man.
Yeah. That's why you watch bad movies. They have real deep thought.
Dude, that's the title of this episode.
That's why I watch bad
That's why you watch bad movies.
It's contending right now, man.
I mean, I intended it for it to be like a fun romp. I didn't intend it for it to be like it's not quite infuriating, but it's just annoying. Sometimes you're watching something and you're just like annoyed at the characters, not even at the actors. It's not bad acting. The story's fine, but like, you're just annoyed. I don't care, or I don't want anything good to happen to these people.
Like when white people in movies go investigate the noise in the house. That you know, is that?
Yeah,
is
it's
that
like, fuck those guys.
You know, but it is fucking true though. You know what I mean? Like, first thing, you know, like, I guess it's a cultural stereotype, but I'm like, let's get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, I've never been in this house before. Let's check the attic.
We had a whole like, my wife and kids and I had like a whole discussion recently of like stereotypical things you do that are, you know, related to your quote unquote race or whatever. And I was guilty of two. One is a bump in the night. I'm gonna be like, let's go investigate that. Let's get to. But I also am adventurous by nature. But then the other part was
because you're not even armed. Because like, you just going to. Because like, I mean, there's not many times that's happened to me, but there has been times there's this wild noises downstairs. I mean, the first thing I do is grab a gun off my nightstand, and then I go slowly check it out with a flashlight.
Yeah,
but usually it's my cat knocking some shit over.
I'm
But
going,
like, you just like
I'm going down bare knuckle like the Notre Dame mascot.
just fucking with the dukes up.
Yeah. So
I think if you like adventures, we should go to Fort Armistead at night.
So there's another example, but that adventure was too much for me that day. I know.
Were you overstimulated?
So this is going to get.
I've never
first
seen-
of all, hey yo,
Because I think if you had wanted that, we should have gone down wherever the fuck the bottom of that was.
the caverns,
The caverns.
so or the catacombs. I'm not sure which is better, but like I'm going to give a so to speak sandwich on that one.
Oh, nice,
so,
nice.
So to speak, I bit off more than I could chew on that one. So to speak. But like, but I do think that like, the other one was, all right, let's rock and roll. I'm guilty of that one. This is a very white thing to do. And like, usually it's after white guys have like washed their hands in the bathroom, like, all right, let's rock and roll. And they shake their hands like this, which I can't even do anymore because it hurts my thumbs. I'm old and trash and arthritic.
It's all the fucking transformations of this third party you have to do.
There's also a quarter of my bloodline that's just been doing this for too long.
He's doing the Italian hand.
Mamma mia!
That's the stereotype. That's the stereotype right there.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. What else? I watched Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah. You've never seen it, right?
No.
Okay.
Overall, I enjoyed it, but it was too over the top. Like
That's fair.
The story, the premise of the story was good. A lot of the characters and the character portrayal was good. I thought that cat lady's
Cheetah
character was a bit shallow.
Wow.
But they didn't. I guess they didn't have enough time to develop her because
I think that's what happens when you hire a comedic actress.
Is
that what she is?
Kristen Wiig, I believe.
No, it's a backstory. It's like you get to see her. Oh, like for one scene being all nerdy and overlooked, and then immediately when she gets powers, she gets she didn't get much depth to her character. It's not about the acting, I think, but they dedicated more time to the Mandalorian because his character is really well fleshed out.
Yeah, I'm scared to watch that movie again
Because you liked it a lot.
because I liked it a lot, and everybody hates it, right?
I don't. Okay.
I thought it was bad.
You did, but when I asked you why it was bad, you were like, "Well, this guy like changes reality. It's stupid." I was like, "Yeah, but it's like saying like this guy like swings on web. It's stupid."
I don't
It's like,
remember.
That's what he does.
I mean, yeah, it's reality
This
bending. It's
fucking
fine.
guy's crawling up walls, and he's got a spider sense.
That's not what bothers me. I thought the plot,
remember.
the gimmick was fine.
So the reason why I'm hesitant to watch it again is because that shit came out at the end of 2020. And I needed something positive. And that shit made me believe in people for a minute. And I think that it may have been a moment in time for me, and I'm scared to ever go back.
But all to me, all that is fine. What's like what bothered me, what I didn't like about the movie was over the top, not as in like the superpowers or the graphics or the effects.
I
It's
liked
like
over the top.
bro,
Winner
thumbs
takes
up,
it
hat
all.
backwards,
Loser
fucking
takes a fall.
bro.
Yeah.
Even you win a truck and your son back.
Pumping iron in your truck.
I need to watch that again. That shit, the 80s movie, that premise. I need to win an arm wrestling contest so I can get this fucking long haul truck to get my son back.
Bro. It's a ABC.
That is the story.
It's an ABC MacGuffin. That's all it is.
That's amazing. That's all we
is.
needed in the 80s. We
But-
still didn't need AI.
Something else was over the top you were talking about.
Oh, like the setting and the people were cartoonish. Like it was the 80s to
it was almost like a comic, like a
it was
Saturday
a parody,
Night Live
yeah, exactly,
parody.
exactly. It was like a
parody.
parody of what they just jam as much 80s things as in there as possible and then put it over top and it made everyone stupid.
That's fair. Well, I don't know if I feel like everyone was stupid.
Dude,
but
just the
I-
opening scene alone, everyone
in the mall.
It was
yes,
chaotic.
yes, that I agree with. But I do think it was a sign of its time in a way. Like,
Yeah,
it's
but
just like,
it
it's just
was-
like
it was-
when the Marvels did, or Miss Marvel did like the 90s, and it's like, well, how do you know this is the 90s? Oh, because he's got a downward spiral T-shirt and then a fucking flannel tied around his waist, but he's like speaking like not like he's from the 90s. He's speaking like he's from today. I'm like. That may have been a sign of its time in some regard.
Well, I mean, jamming a lot of visual things or even background music is fine. It's just the people acted dumb as fuck. Like it was just like too many
The
things
mall,
going on.
the
at same time.
mall, the mall was over the top. For
Even
sure.
up to the mall, it was just like, oh, just fucking 80s, fucking cooked out
the mall
guys
was
everywhere.
pretty early, wasn't it?
It was the opening scene.
Okay,
It was
yeah,
part
yeah.
of the opening scene. The
that
whole
was-
opening
that was
scene was like,
extreme.
there's no way that this civilization can possibly exist.
Because I was actually turned off by the mall scene.
Right,
It wasn't
exactly.
until I got into like
I thought it was a dream sequence.
the Lord Maxwell stuff and all that. That's when I started getting into it.
Yes, like I said, it could have been better.
And I didn't like what was his name? Trevor? What's it? Her love interest. Surprise, motherfuckers!
See, I like, but then once again, that goes back to like, but he crawls up buildings.
no, wait,
okay.
what is the problem with it?
I just think it's dumb that he's back.
But he's not though. I mean, it's part of like.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean.
I liked that part of the plot.
Maybe
that
I need
she
to watch
ended
it
up-
again,
She
but I'll
ended
never
up
do
having
that,
to give
so.
it up. It's like, I got to do the right thing.
See, that shit is like that.
Like,
that was what spoke to me.
Yeah, like she had
Spoke
to
to
give
you.
it up to do you gotta do what you gotta do, the right thing.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah.
Like, Bobby's about the truth, you know. We got a shirt. We hummed it a lot on the regular at home, you know that?
Do you
The
really?
Solid Unit? Fuck yeah. Solid Unit is like regularly on our minds.
Pause.
Wow. Incredible.
Nice. But yeah, it could have been better. I wish I liked the like.
Well, it could have been better.
The end, because like there was nothing wrong with it other than whoever designed the set and background was too much.
You know what's a
And the
good way?
direction is the director. The director fucked up.
You know what's a good way to find a common ground with me? Regardless of how much we disagree on something, like whoever's listening,
Please share.
whoever's listening, whoever hates The Last Jedi the most, right? You know what you got to say to me? It could have been better. And I'm going to be like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But look, when I
There's very few things in life that I'd be like, no, it's perfect. I'm usually dissatisfied with everything.
Could have been better.
But when I say that, it's usually mean like it could have been better, as in like it should have been better. There are some things you watch or
Ooh,
partake.
that's hang on. That's an interesting thing. Could have been better and
should have
and
been.
should have been better.
Because there are things you watch or partake
And
in.
would
There's
have been
like
better.
there's no saving this. This is garbage. Like throw it all out.
But there's always a coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, honestly, to fix
Any problem?
any problem, coulda, woulda, shoulda with a time machine in 20 minutes.
Right.
Damn, 20 minutes. You got a time machine, but
I
it
think
only
we should
takes
try
you
to
back
apply
20
that
minutes.
moving forward. If there's something that we've all seen, right, and we all agree it could have been better.
Can we,
Even
can
if
we
we-
listen to the Clips song? Is it Clips? Coulda, woulda, sugar. Coulda, woulda,
Sugar?
shoulda, ass.
What are you doing,
ninja.
Rogue?
Sugar. Well, if anybody at this table can pull it off, sugar, it's gonna be me.
But if we could find something that we've all seen and we play a coulda, woulda, shoulda of like what would we
What
go
would you
back,
do to make
go
it better?
back, you go back in time. What do you fix? I think
But
that's
I think the problem is when I don't say should have been better or could have been better is when the thing you have to change is just the whole fucking thing. Like say
Right.
if I to make Endgame better, take out time travel, but that's the whole
That's
fucking
the whole
movie.
thing. Right.
So
right,
you
right,
gotta throw the whole
right.
thing out. That's why I mean sometimes you
Right.
throw the whole thing.
Take out Palpatine.
Yeah, that's the whole
whole thing.
that's the whole fucking thing.
Yep.
Right. So that's what it comes down to. Dude, I send you guys both the link on the ancestral mathematics. That shit is still fucking with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Read the stats off that.
I was like, I have booties and
Because
tits
that's like some
and then
that's
science.
that's some Dr. Manhattan shit.
On my
Speaking of Dr. Manhattan,
let me see.
there's this like famous scene. Did you see you saw the Watchmen, right? Or you read it?
I mean, I saw the Watchmen when it came out.
Yeah.
So ancestral mathematics. In order for you to be born, each one of us
this.
who exists,
Yes.
you have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great grandparents, 16 great great grandparents, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
For you to be born from the previous 12 generations and 400 years, which is just not that long when it comes to time. Twice as old as America.
Yeah.
4,094 people fucked to get you here.
Yeah.
It's you have 4,000 ancestors just in the last 400 years alone. That's a lot of fucking people.
I remember I think it was probably last year. I read that book about surgery or whatever, and I was like saying all the shit our ancestors had to survive. But and then we put the math to it. It's kind of amazing and horrifying at the same time.
I mean, because you can think of it in the long term, like a couple thousand years ago, there's shit tons of people. But if you think just 400 years ago, there's already that many fucking people.
Well, like that's
you're related to a lot of fucking people.
That's like, so I'm going to read this quote from Dr. Manhattan, right? He says, miracles, events with astronomical odds of occurring, like oxygen turning into gold. I've longed to witness such an event. Yet I neglect that in human coupling, millions upon millions of cells compete to create life for generation after generation until finally your mother loves a man, Edward Blake, a man she has every reason to hate. But out of that contradiction, against unfathomable odds, it is you, only you, that emerged to distill so specific a form from all that chaos. It's like turning air into gold, a miracle. And so I was wrong. Now dry your eyes, let's go home. But it's
I love that shit.
That's fucking real. Like, like that's Alan Moore at his best before he became a wizard.
Before his final form.
Wizard.
But when I sent that to Pinkerton, I said like it's 4,000 people that fucked, but probably half for you because it's Alabama.
That's so fucked up.
But it is a fucking miracle that any of us are here. You're talking about billions
so
upon
many
billions
people.
upon billions of chances for it to still and be you.
Yeah. So quit bitching about the shit that we bitch about.
Yeah.
Well, except if your life sucks. All the motherfuckers fucking just to get me here, this piece of shit life.
Yeah.
Just like when I was a kid, I'm like, all these motherfuckers fuck just for me to get a 30-cent lunch.
Man, I gotta fuck my way out of this poverty. This is generational poverty.
And
I gotta fuck my way out.
And I did.
Where's the track about that?
And that was all I watched. But just one last thought for the week.
Yeah.
Is there an acceptable? Because we were talking about actually relate to earlier. Is there an acceptable cost in human life in payment for outcomes?
All right. Break it down for me.
So human life is priceless, right? Supposed to be.
Right.
But is there a cost that's worth paying for? So like oftentimes in movies and in media in general, you're like, let those people die so the rest of us can live. It's never okay.
1 to 12, is that what you're asking?
But it's also like...
Is that what you're asking? Like, what's a human life lost to prevent something is worth 12? Are you looking for a multiplier here?
That's more simple.
It's back to the Watchmen.
Exactly. That's more simple because like the 3% that Heroes did it too. Like let like New York get blown up and then we'll have world peace forever. And it was like, no, we're not gonna let New York get blown up. Whereas like if you're cold, like you said earlier, if you're cold and rational and you fucking suppress that emotion, be like, yeah, let 3 million people die and then we have world peace.
You go back in time and kill Hitler if you can as a baby.
Right. So
that has done nothing wrong.
And
right, other than keep his parents up at night crying because that's a pain in the ass. I can tell you firsthand.
But what if
can it change his DNA? Can it take away a chromosome?
What's his face? They covered it in X-Force with Apocalypse. They call it Apocalypse.
100%. That's 100%. And Wolverine couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it.
He couldn't fucking do
it. Yeah, that's right.
Great.
It's fantastic.
Comic book one is great.
And that is what's brilliant about that. Not to sidetrack, but that is because we always ask that question, right?
Tell them what you're talking about. It's
X-Force. Who did it? You know,
Rick Remender, my favorite comic book writer.
So
it's the Uncanny X-Force, right?
Uncanny X-Force.
With the gray suits.
Yeah. It has one of my favorite scenes in it when they're in the bathroom stalls. And Wolverine is taking a shit, and Deadpool's spying on him taking a shit.
Yes.
And he's like, huh? Let me ask you a question. You a fold and hold or a crumple and swipe? And Wolverine's like, get the fuck out of here. Get on the street. We're leaving in 10 seconds or whatever. And he's like, I should have known. Fold and hold. Classic control freak. Like, but like, anyway, I say that to say this is that like that comic in a very fantastic way with mutants and monsters and you know what I mean tackled that question of do you kill the baby, and it's easy. I think it's very easy for everybody to be like, yeah, of course, save 6 million lives, like the third biggest genocide in human history, like you kill the baby, until you're sitting in front of a baby,
you have to do it.
And then it's not about how much of a monster he is, it's about how much of a monster you are.
Yep. That's how it moves.
Man, all heroes wear capes. But this question was, I was thinking instead of in the response, in progressive instead of retrospective.
Okay.
Like, how many people would we, if any, be willing to kill for a cause? Like, say, if you kill 3,000 people right now, you've thrown them in this grinding machine, out comes a cure for cancer.
So for me,
you know what I mean?
For me, zero.
I know that's what I'm saying. Most people would say zero, but like that, it's not rational to me. You know, I would probably make the same choice. I couldn't throw down some people.
So it is. So I can understand
how much pain does cancer cause? You know, how many deaths will it cause?
I can understand the numbers game.
Yeah.
The same as you.
But you can't.
But you couldn't pull that lever any more than I could.
I don't know.
What if?
No, you do know.
What if it's 3,000 people that have been sentenced to death by a jury of their peers?
Well, that's the SCP Foundation.
Okay, wait.
D class.
Wait, I'm in on this.
Yes,
I'm going to see this through. All right, I need a docket because I would imagine, I don't know all the ins and outs of states and death penalty, but I would imagine we're talking about murder and rape.
Yeah, it's basically you have got to have taken life. They're not given in death
some kind
penalty.
of torture,
and most of the time it's multiple.
Yeah,
or murder for hire scheme.
So like if we're talking about,
they've already taken there's a life loss because of their actions, and that is why they're in that situation. And I'd say 90% of
I'm more likely to do it then.
Okay.
I'm more likely to do it than
so now what we're talking about.
Now I know that in that 3,000 there's some innocent people.
Probably.
You know, I know that. But that one I might be willing to play the numbers game on.
So then it comes down.
We're not
to
talking about the guy that got locked up for selling weed on the, you know what I mean? Like,
right. We're talking about someone who killed his whole family.
Free the guys.
So human life cost is not priceless. It is different lives have different worth.
Oh, I agree.
Because we were talking about this last week. You were like, why are people treating lives differently, value-wise, but they are different.
No, they are different. But I'm not talking about in generalities. I'm talking about specifics when I say that. So, like, if you really hurt a child in the worst possible way, your life to me has no meaning, like has no value, right?
And they make sure you know that in prison when you show them your paperwork.
You know, like that's very easy for me to kind of deconstruct. But when we talk about generalities, right, like this large group of people versus this large group of people, well, there's going to be monsters on both ends. There's going to be saints on both ends. There's going to be scholars, artists, creatives, intellectuals.
And within that pool, I'm sure if you really dug in, you could figure out, oh, yeah, there's no doubt this guy did this.
Yeah.
He had shit under his fingernails.
You take you take any like polarizing thing, right? Like I think last week, which I cut most of it out, but but like the Ukraine, Russia, or Palestine and Israel, and you take the monsters of all, because all people have monsters, right? You take the monsters of all those people to save everyone with cancer,
for sure. Right?
Yeah. Execute them.
Well, the good thing is to say is I'm pretty sure none of the three of us will have the opportunity to make these kind of decisions in our lifetime.
I just think about stuff a lot because I'm weird.
I think you might have the chance, man. You're on this promotional train.
Straight to the top.
It's not what we do. I promise.
Okay, that's it for me.
That's it.
Christopher.
Boy, guys. It's like Biggie said, bring some weed. I got a story to tell.
Oh, and that was about Anthony
Hopkins.
Mason?
It was Anthony Hopkins.
No, it definitely wasn't Anthony
He had
Hopkins.
signed a 10-day contract.
It was a famous basketball player.
One of them. Somebody said who it was. I think it was Anthony Mason.
I think it was Anthony Mason.
It's not the one I want to get caught with. I don't care how big he is. Anthony Mason scared the fuck out of me as a child. He was frightening.
For those that don't know, go listen to I Got a Story to Tell by the Notorious B.I.G. and then Google the basketball player Anthony Mason, and all the secrets will be revealed to you.
And somebody who played on, and God bless it, I think Anthony Mason has passed. But somebody
It was big.
So, well,
They're hanging out now.
Coincidence. TikTok has kind of created this NBA podcasting thing. all these old NBA players are talking about all this shit, and somebody comes out and says, "Yeah, it was him."
Yeah, I think Fat Joe said something.
That's who it was. It was Fat Joe. It was Fat Joe.
And that was like 20 years ago.
Back when the lean back?
Like
okay, I don't know.
So
I thought
he was on some sports show, and he fucked up.
No, that's what it was. But the clips got picked up lately. Like I've seen it on TikTok.
He was like, everybody knows that, right?
Right?
And then they're like, he's like, oh, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's funny. Go listen to I Got a Story to Tell, then Google Anthony Mason, and then go watch the Fat Joe clip. It's fantastic.
That's a nice rabbit hole for you to get into.
It's great.
So I have a lot by Nerd Week, and this is a big part of the middle of it. So it's not in order by any means, but so Monday morning, my wife had an appointment to get a cardiac cath done.
Which is serious.
Yeah. Do you guys know what this is? Joe, do you know what this is?
They stick the little camera inside your heart?
Right. So they go in through your wrist. They cut an artery open.
And they stick the tube on.
And they stick a tube, and then they stick a camera, or they stick them in there, and they do dye, and I don't know what the process is. I am horrified by the thought of this, and I have been this whole time. And she keeps trying to give me more and more detail about, nope. I don't need to know how they make the hamburger or the sausages or whatever. Long story short, we were at Frederick Hospital, the hospital down in Frederick. Come to find out, Carroll County Hospital doesn't have a trauma unit, so if anything goes super bad wrong when you're...
Hold on one second. Go ahead.
So, the reason she was having this done... Guys, I tell you, my poor wife, just bless her heart. She, just as a recap, she had neck surgery.
She's had a rough go of it.
She had neck surgery in December, which went great. It's alleviated the problem. Unfortunately, she fell and broke her tailbone, which she did get she got a nerve block injection. So that's been on the mend. And she has scheduled to get this stimulator thing I think I mentioned that'll end the rest of her leg pain. One of the reasons she fell down the steps is her leg goes numb, and she has a thing. So to get all this done, and then part of a routine checkup, she had to do a stress test because she has a heart defect.
Yeah, it's a cardiac thing.
She does have a heart defect, and she's got the historical, congestive heart failure your family has.
Mm-hmm. CHF.
So they're really trying to, good call out. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I don't know all your acronyms. She doesn't have a full magazine going into this fight with her heart. So she goes and gets a stress test. She comes home and she says, I didn't feel great after it. I just was winded, and then it took me a long time to catch my wind sitting in the car afterwards. They call her the same day and tell her to come back the next day, which is never a good thing. But I've been putting the spin on it of, hey, they found something. You're young. They can fix it. We have the technology. We can rebuild you.
We are young. Yeah. Heartache to heartache, we stand.
It's better to find it than not find it.
Exactly. So because of all this, they wanted her to get this cardiac cath done. So she has an appointment. We had to be at the hospital at 6 a.m. on Monday morning, which I was like, God. Okay, fine. And for some reason, I didn't sleep great all weekend. So it was also, it kind of worked out. I was like, I have to get up early. I'm off by 4 hours. Then the time changes.
Yeah.
What
that
the
was rough.
Anyways, so we get there at 6
and you lost an hour instead of, that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's true. Can't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Well placed.
So we get there and we get checked in, go in and get to the department where we're going, and super nice people. Just a great experience overall.
Love to hear it.
They get her ready, bring me back, and
this is still at Frederick, or
we're still no, Carol's not involved at all. I was just mentioning that.
Carol.
If you guys ever need to go, they apparently don't have a trauma unit. That's what we were told. But super nice people, the nurses and the anesthesia, everybody that came by. So before this, she doesn't go completely out. She's just like Twilight, but she said, that wasn't no damn Twilight. I knew everything they were doing. I'm like, that's even more horrifying. So, my wife, she doesn't recover well after surgeries. Like she doesn't wake up good from the anesthesia, and apparently she's mean as a hornet when she wakes up because she always warns everybody like, "Hey, are you going to be in there when I wake up? I'm nasty. I'm just going to tell you now. I apologize in advance." They're like, "Okay, that's fine. We know what to do with you." But so I brought my work stuff. You guys have said I brought my laptop and all. I literally just got it all set up. And
Connected
I saw
to the Wi-Fi.
Exactly. I got connected to the Wi-Fi. I found some fucking coffee finally, and they've got numbers on the board for and she was the only person there, so her number turned green. I'm like, oh, cool, they must be done. And I literally opened my email and Mr. Pinkerton. It's like, fuck yeah, I'll be right there at the pack all my shit.
You're
up.
like, are you nasty?
Yeah. If you're nasty. So
keep my name out your mouth.
I don't care what that DR means in front of your name. So everything looked. The results of this test were great. That none of the problems were there that they were foreseeing. So and I told her, hey, that's great.
I love that. Let's make some of that.
So we were out there by noon. So all things considered, 6 hours for something like that is pretty short. So they get it all taped up and everything, and they're like, hey, they tell you this anytime you have. So if you start bleeding, call 911, whatever, and, wrap it up. And here's the directions. Here's the ice pack. And they give you a pack of paper about 400 pages thick that what am I supposed to do? Am I going to read this?
Oh, yeah. Cover to cover.
Yeah. Ask, what's your pharmacy?
I read those things cover to cover.
Not unlike
Coruscant Nights.
Coruscant Nights.
Exactly. It's a great trilogy. I need to reread it because I don't even remember the guys.
Let me know when you
Jack's Pavin. Jack's Pavin. That's it. So, we get back around noon. We stop and get some. What did we get for lunch? Oh, we tried a new taco place. This is a fun side story. So Kelly's like, I want to stop and get some lunch. I'm like, that's fine. What do you want? I don't know. What about that taco place? I'm like, well, the one we tried that wasn't great. She's like, no, the one that's in the gas station. I'm like, oh, I forgot about it. So in the Tiger Mart, there on the other side of the interstate from where I live.
Yeah.
Right there, I'd seen online that they had a little Mexican restaurant inside this.
Is that in a truck form?
No, it's actually inside the restaurant.
They're the best, though.
Okay.
So we walk in, and I'd seen online, they had 3 TVs up there with all the menus and everything. And it's just one lady sitting at this place, kind of, like a Subway or something you walk to. And I don't smell anything cooking. I'm like, what is this? And there's no sign of a menu. And Kelly asks, is there a menu? And she's like, no, we have tacos, burritos. He just names off some shit. And I'm like, I'm like, this is weird. She's like, let's try. So we ordered chicken tacos. I'm like, hey, that's probably the most
right up my alley.
I went complete skull face on this.
Save white guy taco.
Well, they did have cilantro on them. So
I love cilantro.
That's so fucking weird that you like cilantro.
Today I bought 2 giant jugs of cilantro.
Oh my God.
Jugs?
Yeah. So
why did your cilantro come in jugs?
They're not
buying
in
it
jugs.
dry.
They're in bottles, but they're big bottles and
big bottles.
Of dry crumb. Okay.
No, like the juice, like the green. It's like a green sauce. Am I wrong with that?
Cilantro is a leaf.
Buddy.
It's a plant, bro.
It's like a little sprinkle.
What am I thinking of?
A green sauce? Verde
Pesto?
sauce?
Are you thinking about pesto?
No, I know what pesto is. wrong culture.
Don't look at us like that when you don't know what fucking cilantro is, all right?
I'm gonna call Laura.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Call her. Get to the bottom of this shit.
Me and Pinker are like, what the fuck are you talking about? A jug of cilantro. She's upstairs right now.
Hello?
Hey, that green sauce I like on tacos. What's the name of that?
A crema sauce.
No, what? The one that we just bought 2 bottles of? Mm-hmm. It's called what?
A crema sauce.
A crema?
Crema.
Crema.
It's definitely not cilantro, right?
Yeah, so that's not cilantro.
It is like a... It's like a...
Does that have cilantro flavor?
I thought it said cilantro on it.
Bobby doesn't know what cilantro is. This is the problem, Laura.
He does know it. He does know
No,
what
because we were talking about cilantro, and he said we got a jug of cilantro. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We got 2 jugs.
like a cilantro lime sauce is what
Sauce.
he's talking about.
Okay, gotcha.
Cilantro lime.
Fair
cream
enough.
sauce.
Oh,
But
how about that? Thank you,
Okay,
Laura.
thanks, Laura.
Okay.
She was ready to sell me down in River too. You hear? She was like crema. Bitch, you never call that shit crema.
Well, cilantro is an herb.
It's an herb, yeah.
It's normally a fresh cut
Yeah, but have
thing.
you had cilantro sauce?
Well, yeah, I've had crema sauce.
That shit
I know
will
it is.
turn you inside out, Mac. That shit is great.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we get tacos and we take them home. They're fucking fantastic. So I'm gonna go back and get more tacos someday.
Good.
These are the best
And
places.
they're like, I think it was like $12 for 4
Hold the
tacos.
onions.
Actually, that's how we got it because my wife doesn't like onions. I personally would have rather.
Yeah, onions.
And they did have good.
So I can take you to
Red
some
sauce.
taco trucks
That-
in the state that will blow your mind.
I can't wait.
If you like the authentic ones, but I always
do.
tell them hold onions.
That's right. I'll even eat the little radish.
Oh, they love
the
radishes. They
I
love
the
radishes.
little radish.
Do you do the double corn tortilla?
They love that. They love
oftentimes
that.
they'll
That's a
do
real
that.
taco.
They love
That's
that.
not. I like flour.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do too.
It
Flour-
depends. It depends because if a flour tortilla isn't prepared correctly, it tastes to me like it's Play-Doh. It's got the same consistency like if you rolled it out of Play-Doh. I don't know. So we have the tacos. They're great. I say, hey, I need to go downstairs and do some work because I missed half a day and it's Monday and the buzzsaw was running. I said, I'm going to put in my headphones and just zone out and work on some stuff. She's like, well, I'm just going
What do you listen to?
to literally like some of that focus music bullshit on YouTube.
Okay.
It's kind of like, I don't know, techno noise. It's just, there's no words and I just don't think about anything.
So
It keeps my brain
like the
turned
study
off.
girl. The girl.
Yes, but like there's a Limitless one.
Yes.
There's an Iron Man Studio one. I found one the other day.
those guys?
Alpha Brain or something like that. Yeah. I think it was called Alpha Brain. So it's got some like weird high pitched noises in it, but I was gone.
This guy.
So she's on the couch and a bar rescue marathon was on. And she was just laying there watching that, and I'm downstairs with my headphones on, and I all of a sudden hear her scream, and I pulled my earbud out. I was like, "Hey," she's like, "I'm bleeding."
Oh.
So I probably got up those stairs as quick as I ever can. She's at the top of the stairs.
Which is to say somewhat moderately.
Yeah. She was bleeding from her wound. A lot. Now I know if you work in the trauma field, a lot of blood to you is probably different than it is to me, but coming out of my wife's wrist, it was a lot of blood.
Significant.
Yeah, it was flowing.
So
Alarming.
We were applying as much pressure as we could. I called 911. Young man answered and was talking us through what to do, and she was standing up. I don't know why the fuck and she's like, I gotta sit down. And we were like literally standing at where my steps are. Anybody's been to my house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta get her sat down. So I start walking over, and she like, I guess she was passing out because she like
Half collapsed.
lunged towards the hall, and I told her, I said, I'm glad we're both a little skinnier because I don't know if Big Chris could have gotten Big Kelly up, but
I think Big Chris could have got him.
she didn't. I got her in the chair, and we're applying pressure. He's called the ambulance. He does suggest a tourniquet, which when I was in Boy Scouts, that was like, if you're going to die, you might lose the arm. We're going to tie a tourniquet. I don't know if things have changed since then.
No, it's temporary because someone's coming. It's not like you're tourniqueting it for an hour.
Well,
like
that's
when
right.
you're
I
in the
guess
middle of the
you're
woods, you have to tourniquet it and
I
walk
was always taught raise it up after.
Yeah, that. I mean,
raise
if
it up.
it's the last one,
Okay.
if it's still bleeding, nothing's stopping. Like you
But-
crank that bitch.
but, like,
down.
yeah.
This was significant.
Like if it's down here, and blood's pumping, it's harder to pump up here.
You're right, and honestly, I probably know that, but I haven't.
You're not going to think about that.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's probably not a bad idea for each and every one of us to do a fucking first aid class once,
Probably right about
once
that.
every 5 years or something. Because I felt a
every
level
2.
of panic that I have been taught not to have before, but I don't use it. So I'm doing my very best to hold my shit together.
Why don't you ever reach out to friends in times like this?
Because I don't think about it, and I will tell you the next thing that happens. I always forget my next door neighbor is a firefighter,
Oh, that's right.
and I didn't even think.
the guy with the Trump flag.
The guy with the Trump flag. Who doesn't have a Trump flag anymore?
He doesn't have one for this upcoming Trump thing.
Well, he hasn't. He's gotten married since the Trump flag. So,
she might have been.
and they also just
calm it down.
So we're
Jeremy.
we're standing there. We're it's still bleeding. It's not bleeding as bad, but something's wrong, right? Or for it to start bleeding,
Right.
Kelly's phone rings, and it's neighbor Joe. Sorry, it doesn't matter. A lot of Joes in the world.
Not last names.
Me.
He's like, "Hey, are y'all?" And he named our address. I said, "Yes, she's bleeding. Can you get over? Are you home?" He's like, "Yeah, can," because I guess he was listening to Scanner or whatever. So,
Tell him Tuck
is that on brand?
So, as far as I'm aware, my father used to make jokes. You would say, "Tuck your little bushy tail away, squirrel." And
okay. So he says, "Yeah, I'll be there in just a minute." And I honestly just figured to see him tearing through. You can see his house from my front door, just tearing through the woods with a kid or something. I forgot that they just had a baby. So here comes him in his truck with his fucking newborn in the carrier. Like, bless his heart. He comes in that. My cats did not want that baby screaming in their house. I'll tell you, I had to put the cats away. But he stayed with us until the
snapped into action.
He did. He held her wrists and had some gauze and stuff. And sorry, the cats. I had to put the cats away. Butters especially was just being an asshole.
Butters can get on her.
Oh yeah, he definitely was getting.
Well, there's certain evidence that suggests he might be a little selfish.
It's definitely selfish. Although we have elevated his brother's food to up on the counter where he can't get to it, and he's still as fat as he was. So I don't know. Anyways, Mount Airy comes. Fire. I guess they're just the EMT. There's two people in the ambulance. They come and. They've got the bleeding under control, but she's like, I still want to go get looked at. Okay. Like, I still want to go get checked out because something's not right.
Yeah, that's good.
So they load her up, and there she goes. And I just take a minute, catch my breath, and make a couple phone calls, and follow her back to the other side of the Frederick Hospital. Which, let me tell you. They say there's two sides to every coin, guys. Going from the planned surgery side to the, how do you say it? What did they say about the Mos Eisley spaceport?
Oh, the hive of scum and villainy.
I don't know about the villainy, but I've got stories. And I should stop here and say my wife is okay. It was scary as fuck.
I assume she was because you're here.
I'm getting through this story. She
and you're actually, I feel like you're welling up a little bit.
Stop it.
I'm just telling you,
she wanted me to tell this story. I'll be honest with you guys.
I wish you would have called.
I didn't, guys. I didn't think about it because
it's a fucking support system. We're fucking friends. I'd have been there.
I know, and I appreciate that, But at the same time, I don't want to bother anybody.
It's not a bother.
I know.
That's not a bother.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't want people to worry if they don't have to. That's the thing.
You gotta.
I didn't tell my parents about what we did. About this.
I want you to.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Hopefully, I won't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where were we? Okay, we're in the ER. Of course, I put her in the ambulance, and then I'm going there myself. I get there, and they weren't like screaming with lights on or anything. They were just, drove her there essentially, right? It's like, how much did this Uber cost, right? So I get there and I park where I'd parked earlier, which was on the wrong side of the building. I get frustrated because I can't figure out where to go because I go in the wrong.
Frederick Hospital is weird.
It is weird. It's very strange.
On 7th Street.
A lot of hospitals are weird in general.
Yeah, but 7th Street is a weird spot to access just to go to Taco Bell, let alone a fucking hospital.
Yeah. So I go in like where I'd gone in for the surgery bit, and they give me a little badge, and guys like I just had my work bag with me because I was still trying to do my fucking job. It's the inconvenience of it all, guys. So I finally get somebody. I had to wait in line with the people that I was very confused because it seemed like people were like checking in for surgery or something. Or what are you here for? I'm like, it's a goddamn emergency. I guess there's a difference.
You need to check in for emergency room because a lot of people are there for dumb reasons.
Well, I guess that's it. They
have no emergencies.
There needs to be a better education to the American populace as to how to utilize the health system.
It's not just that though. People abuse it on purpose. I've heard in conversations where like,
you're right.
I know I don't need to be
you're
here.
Right, but a lot of people don't know the other. They don't know about patient first. They don't know about clinics. They don't know about other options. They're just unaware.
Because
that's probably what their mom. That's all they ever did.
Because at my window in my pharmacy, I've literally had people come. They run out of refills. Right, non-emergency medication or anything. They run out of refills. They don't have no pills. It's their own fault. First of all, they said, "Well, I'm just going to go to the emergency room and get them to give me some."
I had a car,
like that's kind of mentality.
I had a car wreck once where somebody ran a stop sign at 50 miles per hour. They were from South Carolina. I don't hold that against them, but they were from out of town, and they hit my car that did not have a stop sign at 50 miles per hour and wrapped me around a light pole.
Yeah,
I could touch their hood. And I could touch the light pole behind me.
Yeah.
And fire department shows up, the whole horse and pony show, etc. And I'm fine. I just need them to cut me out of the car. I'm 100% fine. And they were like, well, you need to go to the emergency room. And I'm like, I'm fine. And they were like, no, you need to, like, no one is fine.
Yeah, I'm looking for head trauma.
In a circumstance like this.
Yeah.
Like internal injuries and stuff.
But had somebody there been like, hey, I know you feel you're fine. We suggest you go to the emergency room, but if you don't, you could go to patient first. You go. Here's what they do. I got that little bit of education, but I was ignorant.
Because the ER scares people. I think it does. I think it's intimidating.
Well, it's because you never know what you're going to get into. I can't afford to go to the emergency room.
Well, no, but I think I came up. My dad was a fireman. Emergencies are emergencies. Yep. I'm not having an emergency. Therefore, I don't go to the emergency room.
Correct.
Like it was drilled in me.
The only difference is, and I'll say this is my personal experience. And I haven't even talked about this on here, but my wife's battles with insurance companies over getting Charlie the medicine he needs for his Crohn's disease is ridiculous.
I imagine.
To the point where the times where they will not do anything or give an answer, Charlie's doctor, who is fucking moving, is heartbreaking. She's moving to St. Louis. I'm like... How far is that?
Give it a drive.
Because she's been fan-fucking-tastic. She calls whatever kids that have these issues, whatever department that is, hey, I got one coming in the ER. Get him a bed ready.
Yeah.
And we just go to the ER. I'm like, hey, we're here. They know we're coming, blah, blah, blah. That's always at Johns Hopkins, but,
Yeah, I mean, but they're like, they're them.
Oh, no. Exactly.
They're both different.
Exactly. So, saying that to say... I find my wife. She's fine. They've controlled it. She had a hematoma, which I think is like a blood bruise. Does that sound right? That had caused some of this stress on her body. But they had massaged it out, she said. I didn't see any. All this had been done before I found her. So, they make you stay probably long. In this situation, she wasn't in a bed. This was like, I don't know if been in ER as much, but sometimes they have an actual bed and sometimes they just have like that
big room,
that uncomfortable, like cuck chair deluxe.
Yes. with the curtains.
Yes. Yeah, with the curtains. So we're behind the curtain, and everybody's super nice that we've encountered so far. At one point they've come in. It seems like we're done. Nobody's coming back by. There's someone sitting in a chair right outside of us that. This is going to sound awful. I can't tell if they're in the chair because they're there or they're in a chair because they're in a chair. Mm-hmm. They are like, it's this crazy, like crying, sobbing, wet sound. And I peek my head out and I just see this person with this amount of snot and drool coming out. I don't know what's going on. But about a few minutes after this gets going, someone says, hey, we need to calm down so you can explain to me why you're here. Long story short, it sounds like the dude's probably OD'd or close to OD'd, but won't admit to it. At one point, and I poked my head out, and I have never seen so many fucking people working. Nurses, doctors, I'm assuming paramedics from different counties, and just these people are
physician assistants
everywhere.
Yep.
And I'm just like, hey, do you know what's going on here? We need to, and the lady's like, they just need to do your paperwork when somebody gets time to do it. I said, that's the vibe check I need. So I poked my head back in. Okay, homeboy that is being very difficult with this lady apparently I hear this noise. It sounds like something hitting the floor. And then I heard somebody say, "You did that on purpose." And 2 other people said, "Get up out of the floor." And another person said, "I'm not blowing my back out picking you up. Get up." To this guy who was a patient. And I'm like, wow. So when the lady does come, I was like, you give me a pack of crackers. We got a dinner and a show today, huh? She's like, yeah, I tell you, he's a character. I said, is he a regular? Because I just assumed by the way they were talking to this guy and calling him by, I don't know, let's say his name is Johnny. Johnny, what's the problem? Johnny, are you on this? Are you on that? And just, I can't help you if you don't tell me what's going on. Why'd you call 911? And she's like, no, he's not. And I kind of really hope he doesn't become one, but we do have plenty of regulars.
Yeah. My,
One that sucks up the resources.
Yeah. And look, this is not a flex, but you can press the flex button.
I'll give it to you. Just
my wife has dealt with a lot of pain in her life from like physical, like car wreck, breaking her back, just horrible fuck up surgeries. It's bless her heart. When she says she's at a 10 on pain, she's like, I should not be able to talk or move if I'm at a 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, if she's like, I'm probably at a 3 most days. And like right now I'm at like a 6 or a 7. If I'm at a 10, I'm probably going to be passed out.
Yeah.
In my mind,
That's what a 10 should be.
So
there's a maximum. There's no more pain than that.
Yeah, if you're at a 10, you can't answer 10.
Exactly.
10 is like torture.
So,
right?
Yeah.
Like you're getting your skin peeled.
Side note, I remember I was in the hospital and for bullshit, but like I was visiting somebody, but there was somebody in the emergency room next to me, and I remember them asking them scale from 1 to 10 on your pain, and they were like 10.
It's like nonchalant.
And they were like, it was a woman. Not that matters necessarily,
because usually they have high tolerance supposedly.
But like the nurse was like, do you have children? And they were like, yeah. And it was like, when you gave birth, did you give birth naturally? And she said, yeah. And she said, would you say that this pain is more intense than that? Oh, God, no. Oh, fuck, no. And they're like, okay, well, let's pretend that's a 10.
Yeah.
Now, where would you put yourself?
Well, the reason I say that is,
People.
You can overhear basically everything. If you want to focus, you can hear every conversation in there. And someone I don't remember whether they were in there for it was nothing I would have ever gone to the emergency room about, but their pain was an 8. And Kelly looked at me, he's like, are you fucking serious?
A lot of the people there don't need to be there.
No, they don't. I mean, it was a mass of the amount of people coming and going.
Plus those fucking people that work there, man.
I don't blame the people because like I talked to my dad. My dad still stays in touch with people in the fire service and hears stories, what's going on. And like, people just aren't educated. They just don't understand the resources that are available to them. Like they you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Like
I think that's part of it. Part of it is just people being people, man. Like when like the lady, it's not like she doesn't know what 10 is. She just chooses to say 10.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because she's not thinking.
Because she thinks
Because
that'll
she's
get her
not
what
thinking.
she
But that's
wants.
a fucking issue.
that part.
Because it could be somebody just trying to get
That
some
part.
dope.
But that's a lot of those
could
people.
be
and
that, but it could also be like just elevate my importance, elevate my status to top priority.
which is
That's why you get brought in on the
which comes back to my point of how many of these people are we willing to put in a machine to squeeze out cancer cure?
yeah. So it's like, but it's like you can't. So like those people are innocent to me. Like they're
But like they're worth not worthless, but they're worth less than people who aren't like
See,
that.
I can't do that. I can't do that. That to me, I'm going to tell you, that to me sounds like a very Adam way of thinking.
Is because mine is like because just like my calories
Because
and
we used to
calories,
beef about that.
calories in calories out kind of thing, right? For me, it's like putting in and putting out of like humanity or society as a whole. Like how much are you taking versus how much are you giving? Are you at least breaking even, man, or are you just taking and taking and taking?
Yeah, but I can't pull the death switch on somebody.
No, I can't really say that, but either I'm not gonna fucking kill someone for being annoying,
and I can't. But
I'm just like you're just a less of a person you're worth less to me as a person than somebody else.
Y'all should definitely like be on the next Squid Game. Like
yeah, but you can't.
Like I'm not gonna kill them. I'm not gonna hurt them. But like to me, you're just worth less.
It's funny.
To me.
I feel like we are finding ourselves on opposite sides of an argument that we usually are on the other side of. But like you can't like people fucking matter, man.
I mean,
like,
but they matter differently, right? Just like your wife matters to you more than a stranger.
That's true.
Than a friend who's matters more than a stranger.
But when we get into two strangers, I can't say, well, you're college educated and you're paying taxes and you're not, therefore you matter more than this person. Like I can't do that.
Well, when I say worth, I don't mean monetary.
Well, I'm giving an example of a contributing member of society.
Just to explain myself, is I'm not talking about like how much money do you make.
Yeah, I'm using that as a metaphor for saying someone who's contributing, someone who's putting in versus someone who's taking.
Yeah.
Right? But like shit doesn't always shake out for people to say, man, like my mother was homeless. You know what I mean? Like she was homeless. I lived with her in the back of a rider truck. The trailer. Like I lived in a proper trailer. People say they live in a trailer. Not like I did. But I lived in a trailer where like you unhook it at the bottom, you roll it up, and you walk into an empty rectangle and you close it behind.
Not a fancy tiny home.
Correct.
That's like 30.
Correct.
Not a trailer house.
You know, but then like my mother's a piece of shit, but she became she had more children. Some of them have been doing great. Some of them have not. But like, you know, like if you were to have valued her life at that moment, it would have been unfair.
But I'm not even talking about just homeless people. It's a way of
living. I'm reducing it to
yes. But for me, I guess it's hard to explain my standpoint. But it's just a way of living, like just your.
But I think a lot of people below the poverty line, like unfortunately, or I don't know if it's systematic, I don't know what it is, but they are the ones who often are unaware.
Because so we're talking about this end of extreme, and I'm talking like I include the other end of the extreme too, like the fucking multi-millionaire billionaires, entitled people.
Sure.
They make a lot of money, but they actually contribute less. They take more out of society than they're taking all the money, and they're not putting out much. Just like
that's debatable though.
It's debatable.
That's debatable, depending on the individual.
It's debatable, but I don't think that's worth necessarily getting into. But I will say this: when I run into rich motherfuckers, filthy rich motherfuckers, and they are ignorant of basic shit, that's when I'm like, oh well, you should know better.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'd rather work in St.
my
Mary's
expectations are perhaps
Bethesda.
a bit higher.
Yeah, like when I work in. I'm aggravated when I work in Bethesda with those people who act the same way as when I work in St. Mary's.
Because the opportunities are available.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. I'm with you there.
Sorry for the sidetrack.
Oh, that's quite all right. So, yeah, we got home, and I have a lot of, what's the emotion? Guilt. For that she had to scream at me to get me because my headphones are in. Like, that has fucked with me. And the other thing that's really fucked with me is she was going to go take a nap.
Oh, shit, no.
How would that have ended?
Yeah. But
I mean,
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
I know. Because, you know, and the funniest thing about it, John Taffer saved my wife's life. Do you know who John Taffer is? He's that motherfucker that yells at people in Bar Rescue. Because she had sat down and started watching a stupid ass episode of that, and she's like, well, I got to see how this ends. And that was the only reason she stayed awake. Instead of going and taking a nap.
And that's why she watches bad television.
She looks down and sees that her pillows got blood on it, and she was just, sitting, laying on her pillow.
Yeah, because she doesn't even feel anything, right?
Yeah,
she coming out.
She just looked down and saw it. It's like, because the cut's already there,
Yeah.
And luckily they had put one of those, I don't know what you call it. It's like a big square bandage, and it's like hollow in the middle. I'm not hollow, but it doesn't have sticky in the middle. You put that over the wound.
Yes.
It starts with a T or tachoderm. Yeah, sure. Is that it?
I think so.
I was
That's
close.
one of the-
It's like pachyderm, but different. Tigaderm.
Yeah. Take it.
Segaderm.
Segaderm.
Master System. That I think that probably prevented her from just, because that was kind of a bubble of blood that we were dealing with until they swapped it out. But that was a blessing. So I literally sat like the next day. She did not leave my sight. I was like, I'm not gonna let anything, because she finally took the bandage off, and it's like, okay, I can see that it is healed, and we're okay. You can go about your business. So she was back to working the laser cutter today and stuff.
back to the mines.
No, on her accord.
That's insane.
Back to the sweatshop.
How are you feeling on a scale from 0 to I can paint styrofoam?
Well, that's. I will say on my lunch break today, I was able to knock out all the foam work we have, so finish it at least. So it's ready for her to paint.
You did the heavy lifting.
I did the heavy lifting.
Tell her to get on board.
Yeah. I have a feeling I'm going to get a crash course in the way Crashbox paints in 2024, because I'm not sure I even really know how it works. But
that's fair. Continue.
So she's back at work. No, I mean, she's you say like it's heavy lift. I mean, it's literally just putting pieces of wood in the machine. But we have a new laser. We're still getting set up. It's a little different. So she was working on that today. The kids and I started screwing around playing basketball, just dribbling around. So today went out and it's a beautiful day today here. And I moved the cars and blew the leaves off and set the goal up and put water in the goal so it wouldn't kill us all. So put air in the ball. So I'm going to try to do it sounds ridiculous. I'm going to try to do 15 minutes outside every day.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's good.
Just to get outside and
that's why I take my walk, man.
Just the fucking oxygen in me.
Let the sun hit me.
Exactly. Hit the sun.
I mean, yeah, even I know the benefits of that.
The scientific.
I haven't this year. Last year, I was walking with Krista sometime during the night. Not too much sun, just a little bit of sun.
Yeah, man. It should.
I walk with you sometimes.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just I hate it sometimes. My dog drives me nuts, but I do feel better. I feel better being outside. Even though I'm not a big outside fan, I just feel better breathing.
It's a biological thing.
Yeah, it's a biological thing.
I've been thinking about buying a telescope, like a good, stars.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Well, it's on brand, fluid life, bro.
I've been thinking about it since. That's a periscope, you fool. Bobby did the submarine motion. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to see what's on my roof.
Just look at your fucking Trump neighbor.
Is that firefighter home?
We do some dangerous shit.
I had a shitty one when I was young because I could afford it. It was some Hobby Works. Yeah, but no, it's cool.
Now they've got them for $1,000. You get one. You can hook it up to your computer and record
craters on the moon and
sync it with your contacts. I've had enough.
You can you can track the space station and shit. You can see that shit up there. It's interesting. If you get one, I'll come over and take a look.
Awesome. So
I see what you did there.
Take a look. So I was asking. And I didn't look into it other than asking. Charlie has the newest Quest headset is, the VR headset, and I said, is there one where you can just it's like a star chart? Because there's phone apps, but I try it.
You want a VR star chart?
Yeah. So and I was surprised, and the reason I said this, you're talking about being outside. I was outside the other night, and right there, where you always park, Bobby, right there's a pretty clear shot of the sky. And it was just super clear. There's not a lot light pollution. Yeah. It was like, hey neighbor, will you please cut off your fucking porch lights? And it'd be really clear. So, for $1,000, you can get a pretty good telescope. Yeah. And you could probably get $1,000 telescope for $300 on Marketplace if you wanted to deal with humans.
That's why I like this table. It's we all have fucking just random ass interests here and there, and we're serious about it. It's fuck it, let's look into this.
Let's do it. The hyperfixation is real.
I like it. I think, man, life can be interesting. You
don't
have to be bored. When people are I'm bored, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, there's a lot to
do something.
I got my new glasses. Aren't they snazzy?
Oh,
they're transitions. So
I wish I'd have dropped it after that.
So
dude, you and Chucky O, the transition boys.
Hey, listen.
That's nasty, by the way.
You can't ever see what my eyes are doing. So we're gonna be happy with that. Guys, I saw a movie.
Okay. What was it?
I saw Dune 2.
Okay.
Kelly wanted to see it, which is weird.
In the theater, right?
In the theater.
The IMAX?
No, we went to the warehouse. It was in Dolby Surround. Guys, it's been a while since I've been able to say this. That was a fucking fantastic movie.
That's what everybody's saying.
Oh my God.
It was.
Did you watch the first one again before you went?
I did. And definitely, you know what? I don't know that you need to. It's a lot of backstory, and there's probably some chunks here and there, but I think you could watch it. Story. But there's a lot of lore there, Bobby.
I might go this week. I feel like it needs to get done. I don't want to miss the theatrical experience of it. I really don't.
It is
with the way people are talking about it.
I'll
come back and be like trash.
Well, honestly,
I don't think so because I like the first one and I don't understand it. It's like Tenet. It's like Tenet for me. I'm like, I know this is good, but I don't get it.
I will tell you, watching that a second and honestly a third time, and I know
This would be a third for me.
okay, it really like hold me when I open like a flower, hold me right. I felt like I get, and there's a line in the very beginning of it, and I don't remember. I think it's Thanos, Josh Brolin, that says. He basically explains the entire fucking story in this one sentence. And I can't remember. It's basically, there's an emperor. And I will tell you.
Space Emperor, yeah.
I will tell you how many people have like, boy, Dune just really ripped off Star Wars. And like, psych!
Nobody says that.
No.
Hey, young people that don't know any better.
Oh, yeah, because everybody says the opposite.
I know.
I've heard the opposite my whole life.
But like, it was Dune and samurai movies.
And westerns.
Right.
Yeah.
Which are just samurai movies, but nonetheless.
Yes. But I get it though. Like, right? Like I understand the basic principle of the movie. It's just when you start introducing the witches and all that shit and like some of the kind of like the nuance to the beef between the parties, that's where I start to fall apart.
You know what I enjoyed about it?
I get that there's this one place that makes Dune, spice. And the spice gets you through space because it makes
other stuff, yeah.
Because it basically gives you superpowers by making you high in a sense.
Kinda.
But some people are using it just to get high.
Yeah.
And some people are using it to actually do, pragmatic things.
They can use it to travel through space. That's part
The
of it.
Navigator. I mean, if you understand 40K, you understand.
And
You got the Witches of Dathomir.
They sent these one group of people there, but they got a beef with these other group of people. And then, they did that on purpose because they want them to beef.
Yes.
Because the Emperor's playing games. And
because he doesn't want them to win.
He wants one house down and one house up.
Yeah. And he doesn't like this people that he moved there to that planet.
Because they're getting too popular.
Right.
He's worried about it's going to rival his power.
But then when you start getting into the witches and some of the beef
It's a big universe out there, man.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like,
if you're okay with witches of Dathomir, you're okay with these witches.
No. I'm okay with it.
Gesserets.
I'm okay with it all conceptually. I just feel like, I'm always talking about how like, they drag shit out too much. I feel like they cram shit down my throat with this one, so to speak. Like I feel
There's
like
a lot to fit. In
that
little hole.
I feel like they like we're baby steps.
And
I was
Bobby,
like, okay, I get this. And they're all of a sudden they were like, main course.
Are you ready for Dune 19? Because there's 19 books. If you count
It gets
everything,
really crazy at the end.
I can imagine.
I don't think we're gonna get 19
My biggest
movies.
disappointment from the whole thing is they were out of popcorn buckets. You guys have seen the popcorn bucket,
where you can
right?
fuck it.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
The meme was like when
kinda
the cashier sees you buy the Dune popcorn bucket to go watch Madam Web.
That's the joke, though, right?
like, can I get the Dune popcorn bucket with extra butter?
Yeah.
No popcorn.
No,
and I will tell you guys.
You can't put anything in here. I'm gonna fuck it.
No, that's why I want the butter. I just want the butter. I will tell you that was the trashiest popcorn I've ever gotten at a theater. It was
Really?
like all the little bottom of the bucket.
Ugh.
I'm like, why don't y'all just screen that? That's just waste. Just make you a fucking plate at the bottom that's got holes bigger than.
Yes.
Anyway.
And sift it out.
It's just corn kernels.
They could have done it with
about a bowlers.
Why didn't they do it with a Sarlacc pit? Why wouldn't fucking that could have been smarter than that? Come on, Disney.
Been playing more Street Fighter. I didn't play as much.
Which one are you at now? Still the same?
So we're
Have you moved up yet?
No, Street Fighter 2. That's
Street
it.
Fighter.
That's where we're staying.
Okay,
but now we do have all three. We have the three versions that came out on the Super Nintendo. All three of them. It turns out the middle one's actually. We thought it was the last one, but it's not. It's not the best. So the best one, this is the one we've been playing. And Mason did find the Kin figure finally at a Target in Pennsylvania, of all places. So
wow,
we have everything that's out. There's another wave. It's Dalsim and Bison next, and I think you get Cammy and DJ after that. So DJ is a problem. If somebody knows how to play DJ.
He's got the slide kick that goes under stuff.
He's kind of got some Dalsim in him, but
Yes.
it's like but he's a bigger character.
Yes.
Just saying that to say. I'd mentioned dioramas.
and plus, so many people are begging him. Please don't stop the music.
That's right. And they ask him, Mr. DJ, play that song. Yeah.
Keep me dancing.
Yeah.
all night.
I'm sure we could find 7 or 8 other references there. And the last thing I want to end on is some random ass shit that happened to me this week that I thought was funny.
Go for it.
So I am just, hanging out downstairs, and
Doing your thing?
I get a text
Got a text.
from an Alabama number, 256 area code, which is
So your first
North Alabama.
relative? Question mark.
Maybe. I never know. Did Gabriel settle? Question mark. At my house, Gabriel's mama has been calling out, and she is a bit depressed. In my mind, Gabriel is a waiter or a bartender and is settling their thing at the end of the day. That's in my mind. That's where my mind immediately went. So I just said, remind me of the details. Just see where we can go from here, right?
We need to understand it.
So I get back, what details? And that's the end of that text. The next one is, he will kick you if you hit him on the butt. Is this the kind of details you're looking for? And before I can respond, I get, he has temper tantrums. If he is shaking his head, he is pissed. And that is a sign about something else that's coming. I'm like, what the fuck? Then I get a call from this number.
That's when he does his power move.
And I didn't know. I just said, hello? Is Becky there? No, Becky's not here. No, I think you got the wrong.
She's
like,
too busy sucking dick in the next trailer park.
Boy, you wouldn't have gotten the end of this like I'm about to show you. So I said, no, I'm afraid you got the wrong number. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, hey, real quick, who's Gabriel? She's like, oh, that's my horse. I'm like, oh, well, I hope you and Gabriel have a nice day and I hope it calms down for you. Here. But it's not over. Because why
would it be?
I send a simple question. Can I see a photo of your horse? Of course I can.
It looks well tended to.
And I just replied,
nice saw.
I just replied, handsome! Exclamation point. And that was the end. I've thought about checking
That's
it. Hey,
great.
how's Gabriel doing today? I just wonder how many pictures I can get of this.
Fantastic.
Then I'm going to fake the
one
horse.
day you're gonna
I'm going to
ask-
fake the horse's identity with these pictures.
Oh, you're gonna catfish with the horse.
Oh, man.
One of these days you're gonna look back on this and text them and be like, oh, he passed, and it's gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, that horse is glue now. But some
just parts of it.
some ups and downs, some trials and tribulations this week. I do get to go to the Dirty. I get to go to Atlanta next week for work.
Lucky.
Maybe we'll see how it goes. I also get to go tour a manufacturing facility for one of the companies that I am
Lucky.
working with. One of the ones I'm managing their account. So on to the next one. Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
How was your nerd?
Thank you for asking. So I'm still watching Curb. It's still fucking awesome. I'm still watching The New Look, which is that show on Apple TV about the rise of Christian
Yes.
Dior during World War II.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. I did misunderstand it. Chanel is not necessarily dealing with the Nazis, but she is humoring them more than I think Dior is, or Dior might be. I can't understand the I can't.
Just like Dune, it's very complicated.
But it is. But let me tell you something. Like I'm
Is
only
there a House of Trades?
I'm only like an episode and a half. Like Balenciaga is in it, like the original Balenciaga, and he is like not having it.
If he had seen these shoes they're making now, he'd probably say the same thing.
Not having the Nazi shit at all. Like, but it's very interesting to see like these like huge houses that were all like in cahoots. Like, I mean, like I don't know how to describe it, but they're like comrades or buddies or peers.
And you see it in a lot of industries like that started out. A lot of the main players were somehow connected. Good, bad, or otherwise.
So do you remember on here recently we talked about Kanye sampling Black Sabbath and all the controversy surrounding it?
Yep.
And I was like,
I was waiting on our Kanye moment of the week.
I'm glad. So if you recall, I was like, look, I don't know how in the hell there's all this beef about this sample that Sharon is not going to give up because the fucking sample's on the record and the record is the number one song in America.
I thought they had
period
moved it to something else, but
so I got a little inside information.
we have a mole. You have a mole at Elektra Records.
Super smart. So I'm going to play this. Jaina sent me this, but basically he was able to do an interpolation of that record on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
He
And
just
then
sampled that.
sampled his own song.
That's smart.
So I'm going to play this here.
West sampled his own song from 2010 on Vultures to get revenge on Ozzy Osbourne. You see, Carnival originally included a sample of Black Sabbath's Iron Man. But Ozzy didn't clear the sample and he wasn't happy about it. So Ye replaced the Iron Man sample with the sample of his own song Hell of a Life, which ironically has an interpolation of Iron Man. Turning the intro from Hell of a Life into a sample on Carnival.
This the Game of Thrones, Yeezy not the clones. Elon, where my rocket ship? It's time to go home.
Kanye West sampled his own song.
So the beginning of that's
Fucking brilliant.
That is smart.
It's smart, but it's
Somebody
also
on this
just like,
team was smart to say, "Hey,
it is smart, but
That's it
it's just
there.
like it's. I don't know. As y'all, if people are like shitting on AI for sampling fucking artist art and spitting out shit, I don't know, man. I
But
don't.
he
I don't know
had
how
it cleared.
right for so like
are you talking about from our standpoint or legality, Joe? Joey.
Because,
no,
like,
it's from an ethics standpoint. I think.
Nah.
Do you know? Like
There's no ethics anymore.
Right. It's just like
Not
me
so much.
pirating,
There
right?
are.
Well, there are no ethics of me pirating stuff. It is somebody's art I'm stealing, right? If I'm watching a pirated show or movie and didn't pay for it, I'm stealing art, right?
Yes.
But I'm not profiting off of it either.
So, but here's the thing is like, an interpolation means that he played it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So Ozzy got the royalties
And still does.
from the and still does from the
And-
interpolation.
and honestly,
and we'll get it from this too.
Yeah.
And we'll get it from this too. It's just that Kanye owns the record that the interpolation was played on. And that sample, it's that part that you heard, it's like a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
no,
it's
I
not even a
understand.
recognizable part of the song.
I'm not even-
It's not.
I can't say that.
It's
I
not
can't
the
say that.
hook.
No,
Like, I
no,
didn't-
no.
I
It's
never-
not the hook.
I didn't notice it.
not
I'm
the
not
hook.
saying I'm not saying necessarily right or wrong because I don't know, but like if you just take it purely on honesty. If an artist does not want his shit on your shit and you loop your way around it, it's a bit disrespectful at the least. Like and
I think it's all disrespectful.
It became.
I think Ozzy's disrespectful.
It's a
I think Kanye's disrespectful. I think they're all disrespectful. See, Ozzy's been through this. Ozzy's done horrible things. If
yeah,
Ozzy,
I mean just like fucking Metallica and fucking Napster.
if Ozzy was to bite the head off of an animal
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
they would crucify him.
yes, but because I don't know, it's just on my mind. I keep going back to AI art because it's so in the it's so being so debated about. It's such a hot topic right now.
right.
I just don't see what's wrong with AI art at this point.
I see.
I
This
mean,
a
I see
tool.
why people don't like it.
I don't give a fuck about it, but I
don't really either.
like. I don't care whether it gets made or doesn't get made. When I see it, I can almost spot it immediately, and it feels soulless to me.
when you can.
So
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I've yet to not experience it. Like every time I see something, like on my Instagram feed is where I
Yeah,
usually see
yeah.
it. When I see the image, I'm like, that looks like AI, and then I read the description, like, of course it is. You know, it doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes I think it's interesting.
Yes.
You know, but I also think it's soulless.
But yes,
it
but
also
like,
feels like untouched
I
by
wonder
human
how
beings.
how much gets biased without us spotting it.
Yeah, you never know.
Right.
You never know.
But you know,
And I guess I guess the proof
I'm
is in the
seeing-
pudding
I'm
there.
seeing because they're on my feed because of my past is cosplay and
Mm-hmm.
with photography in the field. Like I see a lot of that shit. It's like, hey, if I see you liking AI art in your feed, don't contact me to work with me. I'm not working with you. I'm like, okay, all right.
I mean, strong opinion, but hey,
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a like-minded people.
I respect that too. It's not my position, but I respect that too. That's their position.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, I think when it's the same thing, like, it's the idea of taking jobs is what it comes to, right? Like, I think that's where the base argument comes from. Would you disagree? I think that's where a lot of artists have beef with it.
They do. Like, if you work for a graphic design agency and like you're doing album covers, like all of a sudden your album cover business dries up. Like I want, some whatever you tell us. Like I want a bull riding a man through a cornfield.
Because you can just ask the computer to do it for you.
Yeah, and I'm not ever gonna buy a piece of art, me personally, that's not from the artist.
Yeah.
So like if I can't shake your hand and get you to sign it and all that, like I'm personally not gonna buy it, so it doesn't affect me.
Right, but a lot of people would and do.
Right.
I mean, it's beyond this podcast, but like it goes back to my concern for a long time now. It's just like jobs being artificially manufactured, not just in artistic field, just in general. Like jobs that a lot of people do a lot of things that don't need to be done, or by
Yeah, I mean,
but we need, just like New Jersey has to, they have to pump your gas for you because they have to keep them jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of things are like that.
Yeah, but
because like,
are there other ones that spring to mind? Like
anything that's automatable.
I'm an idiot.
Warehouse work in general.
Warehouse work in general. Fucking.
Because people are cheaper than the machines. People are cheaper than the machines.
I'm not sure.
I think that's what it comes
at
to.
At a point, it'll come to where they're not.
Yeah, at a point, I agree with you.
That's why we have so many automated registers at the grocery store.
Okay, so that's a perfect example. So there, I can tell you, I buy groceries at the grocery store every third day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Every third day. And there's not one day where I don't buy groceries where I need somebody to come in and fix the machine problem. And the people that I buy groceries with are dead set on using these machines, and that's I'm indifferent. I'm not like no union, I'm not, but every time we use it, like, oh wait, no, you didn't bag it properly. You didn't. Now the machine needs to double check it, and you need to I need to scan my card.
I figured all the ways around all that.
Yeah,
let me tell you how you do it in self checkout. I
don't have that problem, but
most self
checkouts, individual results may vary. But I don't have any problem.
Every time
there's a grocery chain that we frequent who like. If you don't like put it in the bagging area in the right amount of time, and like if you press down with your pinky finger on accident, but they have a scan gun there.
Yeah, you can just.
I flip all the shit over in my cart. I said cart, not buggy, motherfucker.
So mine doesn't have.
Hold
a scan
on.
gun.
Then there's other grocery stores,
but not.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, but it's
hang on. Then I scan everything. And then it's done. Then I bag it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's
also,
what you're saying.
It takes
pain in the dick.
It takes one person to watch 4 to 6 automated machines versus 6 people to run 6 registers.
But sometimes they have 6 dipshit kids standing around.
No, there's not one person. There's usually 2 to 3.
I'm just saying it's
in general.
And then they have 2 to 3 registers open.
Yeah.
Right. And
I don't think we're there yet.
No.
I'm okay with being there.
We're not there yet, but we're having the problem of this transitional pain where there are more people than there are technically needed jobs, I think.
No, we're not there.
No, we're not there yet.
It's people don't want to do the work that's available.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a pay issue, right?
It is, or it's the work. Like I'll tell you, there is a huge infrastructure bill, and then part of this bleeds into what I do for a living.
Because our infrastructure sucks.
Right. There's like I think it's like $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Like it's money that's going to be spent on infrastructure.
Yeah.
And people are going to be able to get jobs doing that kind of work. They just got to be able want to have to do that kind of work.
I want to make a quick phone call.
It's not sitting at home. It's fucking working construction, pouring concrete.
Just for a cosign. I have this dude's senior picture as his.
That's cruel.
Watch him not answer. It is late.
It is.
Your call has been forwarded.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like we're always talking about not enough jobs, or like coal towns being we got to get the mines back working again because we need fucking jobs or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a fucking actually intelligent, in the field of politics and humanities, but I
just feel like so many in art, man, so many people are borrowing and creating upon the shoulders of other people. Everything. Music is the one place where motherfuckers feel like they own everything. And then this dude went through the steps. and tried.
legally. Great.
Yep. And then when he said no, it was like, okay, well, I have my own means that I've already paid you for, and you're still going to get paid from it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he should get a penalty or whatever. I mean, like I said, this was all from an ethics point of view, and I haven't been able to navigate my own thoughts and feelings because it's such a big topic. We talk about art. What is art? Bobby?
Yeah. We can't tackle
I know, but it gets to the. I mean, we get into the point where it's not funny. Where the thing about what art is.
Yeah, but this one to me is like it's not even debatable. It's like it's less of an infringement than I don't know who created the ball peg first. Mm-hmm. But let's say Bondi created the ball peg first. Mm-hmm. It's far less of infringement than Hasbro using a ball peg. Far less.
Are we still talking about the Kanye song?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Bobby, what else did you do this week besides talk about Kanye?
He loves Kanye.
He loves Kanye.
I do love Kanye.
He does love Kanye. He needs to go spend like $100 and get everything he makes on his website. You need some easy pods.
So
I'm gonna buy you a pair. I'm gonna buy you a pair of size 1, 2, and 3.
I don't want to wear those.
No, I don't care.
All right, wear 'em. Buy them. So I have a question. It was controversial. I'm afraid to fucking ask it. But is saying I have read a book, right?
Read a book?
X book. I've read this. I've read this book. Right. But you listened to the audiobook. Mm-hmm. Is that the 2024 version of Stolen Valor?
I've because I have listened to so many books. I don't know how else to say it other than I read this book.
I listened to it. I listened to the audiobook. That's the way you say it. Read.
Hang on. I have
read this book.
I could make a phone call.
You didn't read it.
Listen to somebody.
I haven't read this book.
Yeah, fair. That's fair, right? I'm good with that.
I
haven't read Coruscant Nights.
She would probably kill me if I call her and put her on the air. But my wife listens to audiobooks constantly.
Yeah, I love audio.
I wonder what her opinion is.
Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with it.
No, and she says
But you can't say you read it.
She's like, I finished my book. That's what but she calls it a book.
That's fine.
But some of this stuff she doesn't do.
But is it even what? Bobby,
what's a book?
What is a book?
So it's not so much.
It's a body of writing.
It's not so much what is a book.
That's a great way to put it.
It's not so much the book. It's read.
I listen to
read is a specific verb.
And I'm always the one who says words mean a thing and things should mean something.
I think it's.
I have experienced this body of writing.
So I think we should start normalizing. I've listened to this book.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah,
but if you're listening to it, is it still a book?
Yes.
Is it though?
It depends on how it's presented.
It was a book that was read to you.
So if it's presented I'll give.
If it's a digital book,
if it's got sound effects.
Oh wait,
hang on.
Now, is it abridged?
Well, hang on,
because I think that's fair too. Different. I listened to an abridged version.
A bridge has to be in there.
A bridge is like the Cliff Notes. Yeah, I know what a bridge is.
I think that's fair.
But like, if it was a book that was never printed, is it still a book?
No.
Well,
no.
If you wrote it, but it never got printed.
You typed a manuscript.
Yeah. It's still a book.
Some of the things my wife listens to are only available as audiobooks.
Right.
They don't have it available as written text.
Right.
Like it's not available.
So you still gotta say I listened to it.
Oh no, that's fine.
But
no doubt. But like, is it a book?
What is a book?
What is it?
What is a book? Is it a printed?
So in my opinion, that's not a book. It's a podcast.
Okay.
That's a podcast. Motherfuckers just out here saying anything.
Well, no, it's
not your wife, but like these motherfuckers that create their
there's a script.
But they read the script on the podcast.
Why the fuck are we not doing that?
We should. We shouldn't.
Probably get more play out of our 3 hours together.
Welcome to episode 447. It would be trash.
Chapter 447.
Chapter 447.
The Prophet of the Faceless.
Yeah.
Chapter 17.
Yeah. I think it's Stolen Valor. I think motherfuckers want. Look, I'm
because it's more work, right?
And it's a little bit more cred. It's a little bit more props.
It takes you time. You
it
have
takes
to sit down and
energy,
read it.
effort.
You can't
to sit down and read a book. Yeah.
You can't be driving and listening.
Yeah. I read. Oh, you're so well read. You're so well read. Of course you are. You smart motherfucker. No, motherfucker. You listen to that shit. I listen to fucking Drink Champs, and you listen to that book. We're equal.
Oh yeah.
And then the last thing this week. Like I said, I've been in a fucked up place recently. I'm not okay.
We know.
But I sat down with my wife.
My wife
on Tuesday, and we listened to The Fragile by Nine Inch Nails from plenty of samples, by the way, from beginning to end.
I couldn't tell you what they are.
Is this because Mr. Reznor?
And that's fair because he hides them.
Is this because Mr. Reznor also did the same thing?
So no, he did it recently with Downward Spiral.
Oh, that's the one he listened to because it was an anniversary.
Yes, 28 years, I believe. So we listened to The Fragile, which is my favorite album of all time. That is the in my opinion, the most perfect body of work that I've ever experienced musically. But that shit came out at a time for me that was so fucking turbulent that, like, I think I found peace in it. And it's an album to this day that I rarely listen to, but even when I rarely listen to it, I even more rarely listen to isolated pieces from it.
You have to listen to the whole thing.
I either listen to the whole thing or I listen to none of it. And we sat down, no kids, and we fucking listened to it. And halfway through, like, and I'm listening, like, I'm head down, eyes closed, listening to it. And halfway through, I look over because I hear all these fucking noises. My wife is sobbing, right? Weeping. And I was like, are you okay? And she was like, no. And I just grabbed her hand and I was like, all right. And I was like, look, we got to weather this together, but I can't help you through this right now. I got my own shit I'm dealing with. Like, you know, I'll brace the storm for you, but we got to make it through this fucking thing. And it was interesting. It was therapeutic, I think, in a sense for me anyway. Like, I hold that album in a very, like, I was in a rough spot, one of the roughest spots in my adult life that I've ever been in, and it helped me get through it. But listening to it now, not being in a rough a spot, right? It's so sad and angry and suspicious and paranoid. And I think those are all things that resonate with me. But while I'm listening to it, I also could hear it's not defeated. There's hope. There's optimism left in there. And I think listening to it, you know, when it came out, I was 18. And I think listening to it at 43, the first time in some time having listened to it, like, I think I've kind of come to terms with it. Like, and I think it is an album now that I can isolate a song here and there and be like, let's just throw on Starfuckers, or you know, or the day the whole world went away, or whatever. Like, I think I can cope with it a little. Like, it was a process. Like,
You worked through it.
I worked through it, you know, and I think,
look at you working on you.
I'm trying, but I may not have been in the best mind state to have listened to it, and that's probably why I decided to put it on in the first place. But it was worthwhile. It was torturous, but I came out of it like, fuck, it was the right call. That was a bad day of listening. Like, that was a bad 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, because it's a double album.
But didn't it need to be that for it to do what it did?
But I think it needed to be that to do what it did.
Like, if you listened to it on a good day, it probably wouldn't have had the same effect.
Yeah. And I don't think I would have ever listened to it on a good day. You know? So anyway, it brought a little bit of peace to me because that record is such a special thing to me. Like, it's like my little baby. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it was so important to me. It was
a part of you,
nurturing, you know, to me, that, like, listening to it, I haven't listened to it probably over a decade, you know, and, like, coming back to it and embracing it and understanding it and seeing a little bit of the positive in it that I wasn't able to see when I needed it the most. It was like, fuck, man, like, that was there. You know, it was important to me then. I just didn't see it, you know?
I don't have that relationship with music. I don't. I honestly, like, I understand what you're saying, but nothing I can think of in my life I would ever have that experience with. I enjoy the fuck out of music. It means a lot to me. There's songs that put me in a specific place, but I can't think I've ever had that kind of reaction to music, especially in long form like that. That's probably a lot of the difference between you and me musically is like the conversation we just finally
Cycle
finished.
through.
Yeah, so I think that says a lot about the way music hits you. It doesn't hit me the same. I can't speak for Joey, but I not to discredit that at all. It's just like I can't really relate.
Yeah, yeah. But it was good. It was worthwhile.
Good.
So I also one more thing I watched. One more thing I started watching.
You fall asleep to it?
Yeah, I did. Not because it was bad, because I was tired.
You say that a lot. It's like started watching this thing, was so good I fell asleep to it.
So I think once again it's one of those things that could have been done quicker than what it was done. But it was on Netflix, and it was called The Program. And it's a documentary based on the Scholastic program that Daya had been abducted into.
Oh yeah, I want to watch that. Dude, I saw the little blurb comes up.
So I started watching it because he's coming out here.
Yeah, to Saturday, right?
Yeah,
I think we're hanging out later.
to do a sit down.
I didn't know that was the same program. It was.
Yeah, so he
because
told
when we
me-
saw that, I was like, "Oh, this seems like something that I was into."
He gave me a heads up. He was like, "Is this about the program?" And I was like, "It's about your life." I was like, "What the fuck's the program?" And he was like, "It's that Netflix documentary." And I was like, "Give me the deets."
Okay,
And-
I definitely got to watch it now. I didn't realize it was the same program.
And it pretty much, I got to tell you, like, I think my wife was shocked watching it. I think I was a little bit less shocked because I just heard it from him.
From a live person?
From a live person not
Yeah.
too long ago. And like, but it is interesting. And I do plan on putting forth the effort to try to finish it because I do think it's of merit. But
Yeah, I'm definitely watching that.
yeah. So I watched that too. So far, so good.
I watched The Program. It was a movie
It sounds
about high school football.
it is about yes.
No, it was college football. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's not okay. The other one is Varsity Blues and
Varsity Blues, Puke and Rally. And the basketball version was called Blue Chips. It had-
yes, Blue Chips.
Shaq was
not
in it.
not as popular as Varsity Blues.
No.
It's still both got blue in it.
But Shaq was.
What's Friday Night Lights?
It was a
Friday.
TV show, and then they made a movie, or vice versa. I don't know.
I really should have played Pop Goes the Weasel's chorus. I'm going to leave that alone. But I really should have played Pop Goes the Weasel's chorus. Still stuck on it. All right. And then we can get to notes. All right. Recent third-party reveals.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? You probably are not aware.
Tell me. I want to know. I'm just not interested enough to look into it myself.
Here's the broad strokes. It's other versions of shit you've already seen.
What is
Guess some of the characters that they're gonna make. Guess.
Prime, Bumblebee,
Hold on.
Prime.
Prime, definitely.
Is
What's
it,
does
You
Prime
can't
have
say
a-
Prime and Optimus.
Does Prime have a big brother? Maybe.
well, maybe
Who would be Prime's big brother?
who's Prime's Sentinel Prime?
Well, okay. How about
Think G1.
How about if Optimus was white and then he wore a suit of armor and called himself
I
somebody?
thought that one was already revealed.
Somebody
a long
else
time
is
ago.
making it up.
Is it an armor one?
mean,
Because I want an armor. I don't.
There is an armor one. It's a Fans Toys armor one.
Is
Is a Fans Toys armor one?
Yeah, it's probably $700.
I mean,
At that
what's
point,
money?
who cares? I honestly, nothing was like, oh wow, finally, you know. There's a Transforming Robot convention.
Wait, so
in
Fans
LA.
Toys, so Fans Toys is a Prime coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they showed that
Well,
too.
actually, it's.
I mean, it's
They showed that too.
but it's not. It's not Fans Toys. It's hyper.
It's like phonetic
robots or
models or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another. They have another option now.
Wait. I got a phone call. Hannon,
Yo.
you are live on Nerd Rage.
Sorry.
Hi.
Oh gosh, man! When you called the first time, I was just getting undressed to get in the shower.
Sounds like a party.
Lucky me. Hey, I got a quick question.
All right.
When we go to the grocery store to check out, because you and I buy groceries together, it's a long story. I don't want to bore the audience with it.
All right.
How often does someone need to come over and help us with our purchasing? Some staff of the grocery store.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I would say at least once a visit.
At least once, like more than one sometimes.
Sometimes 2 or 3 times.
Fact.
What are you buying? What the fuck are you buying?
Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem.
See you tomorrow.
Sorry if I see it.
See, it was
there's-
just
there's
you.
no doubt.
If it was
There's
just
no
you, I
doubt.
would have said maybe it's just user error. But if it's
No,
multiple
it's not,
people,
though. Yeah.
I've never.
Sometimes I like to go if it's one of those days and like I've already had to call them over 2 times. I'm probably going to just kind of start fucking up on purpose just to make it.
I don't.
And it varies store to
What's
store.
the blue moon for me where like someone had to come fucking swipe the thing? It's usually because something won't scan.
Yeah.
that's weird.
If you look,
We have opposite lives, bro.
dude, if you look at where you put the groceries, the weight of your vision on the groceries, the groceries think you've added something else to the bag. Scan it. You need to scan it.
Yeah.
Thief.
Because
It can tell because they can tell if you're holding a grudge.
we go.
Anyway, I don't want to get distracted. Let's get back.
We
let's
shop
get-
at 4 different stores every Friday. I don't always go because sometimes I work, but we go to 4 different stores.
a lot of work.
But that's just one trip a week instead
Still a
of
lot
every
of
3
we
days.
go. We go once a week. So my family goes once a week. We go on Thursday.
So we go once. We go to 4 different stores because you got the Costco, you got the Asian market because we're Asian, you got the Food Lion right there to get Mountain Dew because that's the only place that sells fucking Diet Dew. And then sometimes you go to Walmart because she wants to look at plants.
you know which one goes most smoothly for us? Costco. You know why? People.
Hot dogs. That's why.
Oh, and that pizza. I don't know what it is about that pizza.
Glizzy's on deck, bro.
You have a slice of pizza there. That shit is money.
It's like $1, right?
You take that pizza home.
It's trash.
That shit is trash.
They want you to eat it there. Yeah.
It's
It's
so
meant
funny.
to be.
Keeps you in the store longer.
It's design obsolescence. It is. Just like your fucking iPhone.
Anyway.
All right, hang on. Would you pay what you pay at Costco every year to get that level of service at any other store you go to? For example, the grocery store
Yes.
that you constantly. Okay, fair.
100%.
We have a new business model.
So where were we? Oh, so I wanted to say that. So the big kind of uppercut was that fucking X-Trans Spots has this Ironhide and Ratchet that are getting ready to come out.
Then they already have an iron.
Takara does, and they're competing with it. And then Fans Toys announced their Ironhide and Ratchet, and theirs is pretty well along. Like it's like prototype stage. Like it's not CAD images. Like it's like we're
almost ready.
We're almost ready.
We're almost ready for it.
Here's a question.
But it's just the bully is very.
Well, you say that, but at this point, do you consider from a quality and design level X-Transbots to be close or right there with Fans Toys?
I can't say that.
You still can't. Is it because of the?
It's close. It's close
QC
in some
stuff,
ways.
or-
It's like it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like I think their Constructicon they put out is pretty close.
So the X-Transbox is great, but the KFC is trash. Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah. It's still got a little bit of those 11 herbs and spices
Yeah.
mixed in. If you know what I mean.
Oh, you eat beaks in your part of the world. We don't eat that over here. Can you cut that out? It's smiling at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody who knows.
So is everyone releasing stuff for G1 aesthetics, or are they doing more Bayverse stuff, or are they doing their own fucking thing? Like
everything I saw was
same
pretty
similar
much G1.
G1 to a fault, or like old school masterpiece.
No, it was like cartoony kind of. They're kind of
Yeah, I mean, it's like it depends. Like there was a lot of movie stuff and there was a lot of cartoony stuff.
That's one
It's the
thing I
same
would
old.
I would get is an Ultra Magnus because that's like my favorite.
So I think you would like that.
Here's
I
a
think you would
question
like
I
that.
have.
I'm worried about being G1 to a fault. That's my problem because I don't like.
I'll look
I
it up.
don't.
Your opinions may vary.
I think you'll at least like the transformation element and maybe the prime. Fans Toys Marge with an H.
Yep.
Margh.
Margh.
Large Marge.
So that's got to be where that's from. So here's a question for you, and I haven't quite figured this out. So when I was at BotCon last year, Robeson, who has a license to, was set up there.
Second party, if you will.
Right, they were there the year before, I believe. Also, they were there in Nashville.
Yep.
This last Transforming Robot Convention, it was this weekend in LA. 3-0 had their MDLX line as an exclusive colorway. Do you think Hasbro's kind of loosening their reins a little bit?
Yeah, it's a
on
good
what's
question.
going
I have
on?
no idea.
'Cause
I have no idea. I do think that 3-0 Gorilla Prime, Optimus Primal from the movie looked perfect.
I've seen that in person, and it is impressive.
Yeah, it looks
it's
great.
a big unit. I have no interest. In it.
Me neither.
It's a big unit.
Yeah, it looks great. But yeah, I think it's an interesting question. Robosen, 3-0, and I want to say Flame Toys even.
Flame. So you know what they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, it's interesting. I've thought about every time I see some sort of official like Hasbro endorsed at least release at one of these Transforming Robot conventions, whether none of them are official anymore. So
It is curious.
It is curious.
Moving on to the next note, we have Street Sharks return.
Oh, are they live action? Please.
No.
I believe that's our Megalopolis friends.
Figures from Mattel.
Oh,
Okay.
Mattel's actually doing it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mattel's got to do something.
There's a picture. You got to get up close, but
Mattel's doing Barbie and WWE and Hot Wheels. They're good. I promise.
They're crazy looking.
Yeah, I don't have a.
I thought
interest
that
in
guy, the Shark King, whatever his name
Bro,
is.
I got to tell y'all something about Shark King. I'm sorry.
They're pretty true to form.
All right, so you
Maybe I
guys
just don't remember knowing that crazy.
You guys know, I don't know if you know this. So the McFarlane figures, right? They did, I think they did a Build-A-Figure for the King Shark figure from the new Suicide Squad. And I think they later released it, kind of like, Hasbro always does. I think they ended up releasing it as a figure. I was on eBay looking at doll clothes. I'll just be honest. I was looking at 1/12 scale clothing.
Yeah. Okay.
The amount of outfits you can get for your King Shark figure is appalling or amazing. Prison jumpsuits. I'm pretty sure I saw lederhosen, short sets.
People love the character.
Oh my god, it is crazy. Like
he is a.
But the amount of outfits that is available for the shark doll that was crazy.
He's got a cool following.
I bought a coat with a fur collar for one of my figures.
So a bit like a Bane,
pretty
suit?
much,
like
yeah,
a Shark King Bane.
No, not Shark King for a wrestling figure.
I'll tell you, he is a.
I thought that was a proof of concept that Street Sharks would work. Live action Street Shark.
That's what it was.
Spider-Man returns.
Does he?
To theaters. All the Sony theatrical Spider-Man movies are returning back to theaters.
Has anyone?
Hang on.
Wait, all
8 of them? That's 8 of them, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
so
1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Yeah, I would guess.
2, 3, 1, 2.
I would guess. Let me read
3, 2, 3.
What's the last 3? Oh, the new one.
Every live action Spider-Man movie is returning to theaters.
Same time.
This is like a repaint.
So
they're milking the mold.
No, it's not even a repaint. It's a re-release.
Now this is either
new footage.
This is either due to one of two reasons.
Cash, money.
So one, Sony understands that they have a landmark character that people adore and wants to give fans the opportunity to see them one more time
on the big screen.
On the big screen.
On the big screen.
Or Madam Web crash and they need to make some fucking money out of here.
So do they still need to put like a certain amount of movie out every so
that's
often?
what I was about to say. So,
right.
So they have to do that.
That too.
I think this counts.
Speaking of which, have you ever seen that Warren Beatty apparently owns the rights to Dick Tracy, and to keep
that's amazing.
To keep that,
that's fucking amazing.
He wants
awful,
he wants every however many years
back to the sampling.
He dresses up like Dick Tracy and does this awful like interview
one-on-one interview with himself.
Yeah,
and it's not even done. It's not even done
like he
well.
does it at home.
It's like low production value. There's like long pauses between each. Like he doesn't know how to edit it right.
No, it doesn't matter because he releases it and he retains the trademark.
Secures the rights.
I don't blame him. I mean,
hey, if
I don't blame him.
The thing is
the opposite.
He hasn't done much with it, but I think there's people out there. I read the story and it's something, or maybe I listened to it. I don't want to put it out there like I'm flexing on y'all with my fucking.
You definitely didn't read
40 words a minute. That they there was somebody who was going to try to do something with it, like like everybody make it into something that it wasn't the punchy thing that they did all those years ago, or true to the
source material.
You don't hear much about Dick Tracy. I will say that Mezco did some Dick Tracy stuff.
But like, who thought making by then? What I thought it was a joke. Like when I saw the trailer, I thought it was like a fan trailer or something. I did not believe that it was real.
I mean, they still have the Craven movie to come out where he's not a bad guy.
Like when shit comes out like this, I'm always like, there's just like there's 4,000 people that fucked in the past 400 years to get us here. That's like a lot of people that comes together to create these things. None of them
what
said
if part of your 4,000 was part of the 3,000? You're fucked. You just fucked generations by picking one of those people to be one of the 3,000. God.
But like no one in like any of the top echelon, which is at least got to be like 20 people, right? At least got to be like 10, 20 people that has a say in things. Yeah. None of them was like, this is bad idea.
You would think,
like they finished,
especially after Morbius.
It's Morbid time.
It's Morbid time.
It's Morbid time.
But we have examples of movies fully finished that are not going to be released because of tax write-off, like Batgirl? Batwoman?
Apparently they got destroyed.
There was
due to the reception.
But there was a couple of
there was nothing you could glean out of that.
In recent years, there
but who knows? Warner Brothers.
But who let it? Yeah.
But in recent years, there are at least a couple of projects we know of that are completed and unreleased because they suck for all whatever.
Well,
so why did this get all the way to how did this get to the theater?
I think because
shitty by committee.
Sony is still operating under the flag that Marvel has been for the past 2 years, and I think Marvel is starting to understand now that, oh no, if it's just a superhero, people go to watch it and you make $1 billion. Just watch. Oh, but not Morbius, but watch Madam Web. Watch
Venom.
Not this one. Fuck, let's just put the Spider-Man movies back out.
So I've taken a little bit of I've taken a little bit of a different stance on bad movies, and it is.
There's a reason why we watch them, remember?
Right,
a more forgiving one.
Well, we watch bad shows for
deep thoughts,
and we watch bad.
We
TV
watch bad movies
to keep us alive.
Yeah, to keep us alive.
So thanks, John Taffer. If I ever meet John Taffer, I'm gonna tell him.
You saved my wife.
You shaved my wife. You shaved my wife.
Oh, she's been in and out of the hospital.
Speaking of which, funny story. So
how did we get here?
When they do this procedure, if they can't get the cath to go through your arm, they go through your groin.
Right.
So they shave half your shit.
Does the work for if you ask me.
Oh wow! So luckily they didn't have to do that because then you have to lie still for like 6 hours or something crazy like that, which is crazy. But I digress. Talking about
practice.
Not a game.
So the Oscars also happened.
I watched some of that.
I did not.
I didn't realize it happened till like the day after.
Nolan won Best Director first time. Congratulations, long overdue for that dude, man. Long overdue. And then Oppenheimer won Best Film.
Yep.
There was like a floating cart at one point.
A what?
On stage.
John
like,
Cena may have been related to it in some degree.
Yeah. That was funny. It's been said that was his Illuminati.
Initiation.
Which, whatever.
It's bullshit.
He's naked on
Nobody
TV
saw
fighting
him.
every week. He
All
just
the
didn't. He left his jorts at home.
He's in a number of movies actually trying to get naked every chance he can get.
Who's in that?
I mean, if you're like in beefy stock dude, like I admit, like
one of my
running outside right now naked.
One of my favorite scenes with him. He's in a movie. I think it's called Trainwreck. It's got Amy Schumer's the lead, and he's like one of her like love interests. And he's just a weird fucking dude. But they're in the movies, and these people behind him are talking, and he turns around and says, "Hey, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass." And she's like. And it's just so out of care. And the guy's like, "What'd you say?" I said, "I'm gonna come back there and I'm gonna fuck you right in the ass." And she's gonna watch me do it.
Love to see it.
So we have a couple questions. We'll start with Draven C.
What up, Draven?
Started listening earlier this year. Follow Bobby's YouTube channel for years. I loved a lot of the sit down Saturdays. Bobby, I like your opinion, even though you don't like Beast Wars. I'm a 90s kid that loves Beast Wars. Well, I like you, even though I don't like your opinion. My question is, have you guys been keeping up with Hasbro and his financial issues? If so, what are your guys' thoughts? I would imagine it's partially due to Star Wars and the current MCU movies not being interested by the normies. I collect Chug, but I'm starting to get interested in third party because of quality issues and other reasons. Curious to hear your thoughts about the current Hasbro. So I'm going to tackle this real quick. We've been tackling this on Patreon pretty seriously for the past couple of weeks. It's $5 a month. Draven, if you love Sit Down Saturday, prove it. But we've been going into detail on it. I'll tell you this briefly without going into detail because I am making content based on this. Marvel and Star Wars are a part of it. It has a lot more to do with the fact that Hasbro's projections were based on 2020 lockdown era when everybody was buying, and now everybody's not buying, and they expect to make the same amount of money, and we're free and going to strip clubs and shit again, so nobody's buying action figures the same way.
Right.
And my feelings on it, I could be wrong, is that like toys are being phased away, and we're going to be the train guys.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent,
to an extent, but at the same time, I will say I collect 2 Hasbro lines selectively, and I'm very happy with the products they're putting out for me.
There you go.
And people sure still do get in arms about Black Series and Legends.
Hey,
so.
I love Classified. I think it's great. I love
have 2 vamps sitting in my porch right now.
I love the Marvel Legends I buy when I buy them, which is rare. And
Hey, I
Black
love-
Series is hit or miss.
And I to agree with our guy Draven here, Chug Thug, man, I really dig what the main line offers now.
I feel like it's taking another turn for the worse.
Oh, it's just, I just got to get more. I got to get more detox, Bobby, and it'll be okay.
You got ups and downs. They don't make detox anymore. Those are collector items.
No,
also.
I'm selling all my hot toys, and I'm gonna fill. I'm gonna put one chug on each shelf of my detox.
There you go.
D&D
Just so
anniversaries this year, so we'll see how that goes too.
Those toys didn't do good.
Astartes Pete writes in and says, "Hello,
I'm sorry,
lovely."
say that, Whomst.
Astartes Pete.
How you doing, buddy?
He writes in, "Hello, lovely boys. I hope you're doing fine. And Bobby, hope you've had a better week. Having recently watched the Bobby Boogie Bop on Queen, which was fantastic, by the way, it got me thinking, one of my few regrets is never having got the chance to see Queen live. I know they've continued since Freddie's passing, but it's just not the same, and there will never be anything but that classic lineup for me. If you have had the chance to see any artist perform live who is no longer with us, or even just no longer performing, who would it be and why?"
I would. Well,
Who would it be and why? Hang on.
Wait.
Hang on a second. Is he asking who we've seen that's no longer with us, or
No,
who we
who
would
you
like
want.
to see?
Who would you like to see
can
that
I-
you cannot see?
Can I
mine's
pick like the era? Like if you.
Yes,
For example,
yes,
like if
yes.
I say 9 Inch Nails, you don't want Jack 9 Inch Nails. You want depressed, fucked up heroin
Fragile 9
addict.
Inch Nails, yeah.
Right. I would have loved to have been, because it's my first record and one of my favorites. I would have loved to have sat in on Unplugged in New York, Nirvana.
Yeah,
That'd have been great.
that would have been great.
That was my first cassette tape.
Unplugged?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first cassette tape. It was the first piece of music I ever bought for myself.
which is great. I would have loved to go on a little bit further back, but I do agree that Nirvana's on my list.
Mine's two. I have two, and I had opportunities to see both of them and didn't. Biggie toured. He came
that
to
would've been great.
Huntsville, Alabama during his tour of the first album. I didn't have anybody go with me, and it was at the Black College, and
You don't
I
want to go
wasn't
by
black.
yourself.
I was
I
going
would
to go
have
by myself. I know.
I've been in way of those awkward situations.
And
Like, hey guys,
Yeah.
just here to enjoy the music.
The my friend who would have gone with me was he had gone away to college, and I did not at the time. So
You're in the movie business.
not yet.
Nice.
I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember what I was doing. So the other one would have been Linkin Park.
That would have been my guess for you.
And
I'm not a fan, but that would have
that's
been
too
my
bad.
guess for you.
There's a lot of history. You were talking about that album earlier, and I'd say the Hybrid Theory. If I had
That was
in
their
my life,
first one?
yeah,
Yeah.
that my life was fucked up when that album came out. I had tickets to go see them, and my prior wife had gotten a DUI and had gone to rehab, and I was like, yeah, I don't think we're going to go to this concert, so I had to sell my tickets. I was bummed about that.
That's fair. That's fair. My answer, I would have loved to see Nirvana. I would have loved around like between the Nevermind and Utero phase. That would have been my bag.
That's really the only bag there is, though.
Well, so
Unless you're
between In Utero and then Unplugged, where he wanted to see.
Yeah.
But I would have. I never saw Hove, like in his
Still?
prime.
Wow.
Yeah, I never saw him in his prime.
Funny story.
You would have seen him in 1999?
Yeah, so I met him in real life. I met him in '96 when he was barely known by anybody. When he was still taking economy class and shit. Like I met him then, but I never got to see him live.
Puff Daddy and the Family Tour, 1997, Nashville, Tennessee.
No shit.
Biggie, Mace, Busta Rhymes bass was the hardest bass I'd ever felt in my life. It shook my eyeballs.
I have seen Busta live.
Jay-Z didn't come because his tour bus had caught on fire.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So I didn't get to see him.
I
So
saw
that was
Busta,
an amazing show.
I saw Busta live at the Area 52 tour, which was like him, Moby, Blue Man Group, and
hell yeah.
David Bowie.
That's
amazing.
weird. I saw.
I saw David Bowie live.
I
which is
saw.
great.
That's amazing.
Well,
I got a story about
well,
it.
hang on. Let me add one more to this because he doesn't perform in America anymore. I saw Eminem live at. It was the Anger Management Tour, maybe 2001. So the Papa Roach was the rock headliner, which I like Papa Roach a lot. And Eminem was there, D12 was there. So I got to see Proof and
That's cool.
and everybody. I have pretty fond memories of that show. But
I went to this fucking Area 52 tour, and I only went to it for Bowie. I didn't go, anybody else. I didn't give a fuck about Moby or Blue Man Group, and I was like, Busta Rhymes is fine. One thing that was cool about Busta Rhymes at that time, it wasn't my favorite era, but it was around the past the Crevassier era. He had a big bottle of Crevassier, and he was like pouring it in people. He gave people cups in the front row, and he was like pouring people cups like in the front row, which I thought was cool. I was not in the front row. But I was watching from afar and enjoyed it. But Bowie came out, and he did his whole set, right? And it ended, and he walked away. He was the closer. And then he walked back out, and it was just him on a stool with one spotlight on him. And he had a microphone, and he started singing this song that I had never heard before. And I don't know every Bowie song, but I would consider myself a Bowie fan. I know more than most, and I can usually cite the songs that he would perform at a set.
Okay.
I didn't know this one. It was a love song. He was singing to her a cappella. And you are important to me, a beautiful specimen to me. Like blah, 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 blah. He's going on for like a minute. People are confused, right? And then he said, you are much like a delicate flower that would fall into my arms and tremble like a fly. And then Let's Dance dropped, and the whole band was behind him, and I was like, holy fuck.
That's how you do that encore.
Did he invent the after credit scene?
Yeah, it felt like it.
Yeah.
It felt like it at the time.
It's crazy to think this. My parents saw Elvis twice
That's nuts.
in Huntsville, Alabama.
That's nuts.
They saw like Skinny Elvis, and then they saw Fat Elvis.
Yeah, good for them.
And they saw him probably within a year of him dying.
Wow, that's so crazy. Brian the Samurai, who came in here and talked to us about Godzilla, wrote in and said, as I'm sure you all know, Godzilla -1 won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
Pause. The shoes that team was wearing all had a fucking like rhinestone Godzilla claw as the heel of the shoe.
Very cool.
Love a team theme.
Awesome.
This is without a doubt the most unexpected event of my nerd life. I've been obsessed with Godzilla and Toho sci-fi and fantasy movies for 45 years, and for the most part of that time, they've been looked down on or used as an example of terrible Z-grade schlock.
Z-grade schlock.
It's never been true, especially when looking at the run of movies from 54 to 68, and that's a conversation for another time.
Yep, it is.
Godzilla never needed mainstream recognition to justify my enjoyment of these movies, but it was really an incredible and surreal thing for -1 to win an Oscar for the very thing the series has been mocked for since it began. That's fair.
That's very fair.
To hear Akira Ifuku Godzilla theme playing as Takashi
6ix9ine
and his crew took the stage to accept their Oscar was so moving. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get emotional. Over the past 20 years or so, we've all had a lot of experience watching the nerd things we grew up with being recognized as legitimate entertainment by the masses. Who would have imagined Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime would have brought to life a big budget blockbuster or a theater full of people going completely insane over the line Avengers Assemble? My question for you guys is, what's your Godzilla winning an Oscar moment? Something that you loved forever suddenly receiving critical acclaim. Cheers, Brian the Samurai.
Happy for you, bro.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
great. And he's a fucking true fan.
I love it. I love it when people love things and are able to enjoy them. Mm-hmm. And the other side of that is how many people are like, oh, well, everybody's going to like Godzilla now. There's that side of every fan.
I mean,
the hipsters.
but
I liked him before he was.
I had that. Both his and that experience was when Deadpool first came. Remember?
What are you the biggest hipster of? Deadpool?
Maybe.
I think so.
Probably.
I think so.
I've been reading him since the 90s.
In general.
And anime. Well, that's not fair because I came from there.
So I agree. I think Deadpool's the win.
Yeah, because I've been reading him since his first appearance.
What do you think you're the biggest hipster of? Wrestling?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because it's popular now. It was a joke back then.
It's Joe Budden for me.
Yeah, you've been talking about Joe Budden forever.
I'm the Joe Budden hipster.
I saw something the other day about Joe Budden, and I don't know how old it is, but it was Logic. I guess he called Logic a trash rapper.
Dude.
And then Logic just read the lyrics to Pump It Up.
Dude.
I that's all I want to say. I don't want to get into it. I don't really give a shit. I just thought that was funny the way he came back to it.
But you should see everything that Budden has said about Logic. I can't even look at that dude anymore. It's like he has destroyed that dude.
Yeah.
But
I just saw that one thing where he just read Pump.
Yeah. He's like,
pump.
He's like reading the lyrics.
Pump,
like,
yeah.
Like, hey, yo, hey,
yeah.
pump, 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 pump it up. Do you know Pump It Up? It's a fun fact. Pump It Up
What
was
does it sample?
so it does have a sample, but like it's a huge hit, right? It played in the World Series, the NBA Finals.
Oh, it was in the first Fast and Furious.
Furious. It was fucking everywhere.
Made him famous.
It's true though. It's true. It was fucking everywhere.
He's probably made more money off that song than he has anything else in his career.
Go back and listen to that song.
It sounded bullshit.
That song is about jerking off.
So
That is the hip hop version of She Bop.
you know, there's a song, there's a 70s song. I don't think it samples anything, but
My jump off doesn't run off with the mouth so much. My jump off doesn't care when I go out so much. My jump off doesn't, like, he's talking about his dick just worrying about beating itself off.
the song "Hold On Loosely," but don't let go. If you hang too tightly, you're going to lose control. That song's about jacking off too.
So is She Bop by Cyndi Lauper. She bop, he bop, and we bop, they bop, I
that
bop,
song.
and you bop. That's all about we all masturbate.
Yeah.
There we go. Spanking it.
So anyway, we never answered the question. What was your nerd moment for seeing something achieve its recognition?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Also Deadpool.
It was Deadpool because, like, because you know, before the movie came out, you knew me and knew my fandom of it because you saw my house, and the movie came out, and then everybody fucking loved it, and it solidified that character in pop culture as one of the top tier guys. And then, like Pinkerton said, everybody hopped on board, and it fucking went straight to shit from there. Yeah. I mean, I still enjoy the movies, and I'm happy the new movie is coming out. But like, my love for it has been tainted because of all the fucking the fandom has spoiled it for me, and also spoiled the character because it influenced the writing. Never let the fucking fans influence your writing, because that's when.
Yeah.
Just like, don't let Hasbro tell you how to write your comic books.
Yeah.
I was saying Dreamwave, IDW.
Do you have a separate one about something that you held near and dear and got to see achieve success that you were happy for?
You know, mine's a little. Yes. But oftentimes, and I drive my wife crazy about it, because every time somebody's on TV, hey, that guy worked for me. It's seeing these guys that I paid $20 to do flips are now fucking millionaires on TV.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
whoa,
amazing.
that's
Somebody,
somebody.
his name, give me a name.
Ricochet,
There you go.
Samoa Joe, Chuck Taylor. I think that's
Isn't that a shoot?
I mean, that's pretty significant.
it is a Chuck Taylor. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that's still James Storm, but I don't know if he wrestles much anymore. Those are the main one. I mean, Samoa Joe's an AEW world champion right
Yeah.
now. I mean, he came. I paid him once to come. It's just been interesting. It's just been interesting to watch, you know, those people over the years.
Yeah.
You know, they're all veterans now.
I think for me, it was seeing Gary Oldman win an Oscar.
Oh yeah,
Like I'd been a
Like,
fan of his for
Women's
so
fan for a long
long.
time.
You know, and when he finally got the achievement, I was like, fucking finally. And I don't even think he got it for something I was particularly interested in. Like, you know, but I still, I mean, that dude doesn't give a bad performance.
Yeah.
You know,
Even in bad movies.
even in bad movies.
Like that one, I don't even remember the name now, with the submarine movie. Like, he was only in it for like 2 seasons. And I was like, oh, perfect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's in Oppenheimer and he's fucking great.
When did he not?
Dude, that Robert Downey Jr. won a fucking he won an
What did he do?
Oscar for that. He best
He
supporting
won.
actor.
Yeah, he won.
I
Best
didn't even know
supporting
he was
actor.
in that.
I didn't know he was in it.
I didn't even know
He's
he was in
great.
it.
And he's great.
He didn't get one for Iron Man.
Yeah.
Fucking Oldman plays the president.
Does it really?
You know, like
he seems presidential to
he's
me.
fucking perfect. Like, anyway,
Did you,
what?
I have one more for is Critical Role. Is the D&D people. They start playing on YouTube for the public. They're just playing the game and they start broadcasting. I was watching them when they were just in the fucking house.
Yeah.
And now they have 2 seasons on Amazon. Their third one coming out. They have their own printing company. They're just now coming out with a rival game to D&D this year called Daggerheart.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That makes sense.
I mean, so like now they're super popular. I've been watching those guys since they were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Last one from Paul C. Morning, gentlemen. I'm writing you from my toddler's bed right now. We had a huge thunderstorm overnight, and one particularly large, window-shaking crack of thunder woke up both my toddler and my daughter. They were both terrified to the point where my wife and I ended up in each other's respective beds to stop their crying. This got me thinking, when was the last time you were really scared? What were the circumstances, and how did you overcome it?
Monday.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was fucking awful, Paul. Thanks for bringing up the trauma.
pretty fair one.
That was that probably the first time in a while I've actually been afraid.
There's two times, one being really stupid. 2 times I can think of all the time I have where I was like freaked out. I'll tell you the fake one first.
Okay.
Remember when the earthquake back in.
Yeah. I was driving, so they say if you're driving, you couldn't feel it because something about the way the rubber absorbed it.
Oh, sure.
It was like 2010.
It was on 50, but it was a big. It was a significant.
It was the
earthquake.
first time I had an
Yeah,
earthquake ever.
Yeah.
So like I was asleep.
Okay.
I felt a rumble in my sleep, and I was like, "What is that?" And I felt another rumble, and then
jungle.
no, in my basement.
Oh.
And I
Ready to
fucking
get that
threw on
thing.
the first thing I could grab, which was a pink robe. I was naked. I jumped up and I fucking ran outside thinking a nuke went off because I was living really close to DC. I don't know why. I was asleep.
Yeah.
I was jarred up because earthquake is not a fucking thing in Maryland.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, oh fuck, we're getting bombed. Oh shit. And I fucking ran outside freaking out. I was like,
This is it.
this is it. I was like, so that was a fake freak out, but I was fucking terrified because like if I didn't die, that's the problem. Dying in a nuke is no problem. You don't even know it. You're just gone.
You're
if you're awake, if you're alive after the fucking nuke went off, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
2 is I was driving. I was in New York City. I dropped Krista off to like run into a 7-Eleven to pee, but you know it's New York City. There's nowhere to park. I was circling the block.
Or to pee sometimes.
Or to pee sometimes. Yeah. So I was circling the block. Like I'm going to keep circling and then, just come back out and I will pick you up. I was circling for 20 minutes. It's much like this fucking movie. I start freaking out. I start texting her. No answer. Nothing. I didn't know what to do. I started calling like everybody else to call her.
Right.
Comes to find out the 7-Eleven have no service. She didn't get any of my messages, and it had an other exit. It's like a building with one exit on each end.
Yeah.
She got confused. She went out the wrong exit, and I was panicked. I thought she got abducted or some shit.
Wow.
I freaked the fuck out, and I found her because I stopped the car in the middle of the road and I ran to the 7-Eleven to look for her. Find her on the other side of the building.
Wow.
I don't know how I didn't get a ticket either. You were right. I was pissed at her, even though she didn't technically do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I was, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was so fucking worried. And meanwhile, she had no clue she did anything wrong.
We don't know what to do with it.
I said, why didn't you answer my fucking messages?
It's energy.
And she didn't get my messages.
We don't know where to put the energy.
I was like, oh. I'm just like fucking anxious just thinking about that moment now.
I think I can think of 2 times recently where I was scared. One time is more recent. We were essential moppers, so we had to mop, medical facilities and so forth. Like we had to go to work, and a coworker of mine was exposed to COVID and was sent home
Super early, right?
super
This is
early.
peak.
Like 20.
Yeah, like
people-
Wuhan COVID.
Yeah, people dying.
Got you all in check.
Wuhan COVID.
Like spring of 2020 COVID, right?
Yeah. And it actually sent home like half of my crew. And I was like, fuck, man. I was like, these guys, at the time, I'm like, are they going to make it?
Because a lot of people, because of everything else. It was a different time. It was a different COVID back then.
It was way before that Florida COVID.
No.
Which was a breeze.
Which is a Florida breeze. What about the time you flew in Spirit?
Oh, yeah. Anytime I fly is scary, but Spirit's especially scary because they give you a little psalm book.
Y'all, I got a low key dish. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Man, you look like you got status on Spirit.
Yeah.
They let you bring your own bucket to sit on.
So then, the only other time that I can think of was that I get framed away, but like I'm a pretty empathetic person, like especially to people that I love, and I start often like presenting physical symptoms of people that I love that are going through something. Like I present the symptoms that they're going through. So a buddy of mine years and years and years and years ago got testicular cancer.
Oh,
And I got a cyst on my nut.
Wow.
And like I was like,
yeah,
fuck,
super powerful, like psychosomatic.
I'm going out too. And I was like, I had to go to the doctors and get scanned and gelled and all that shit. You know what I
just
mean?
want to get scanned and jail down there.
And like, but I was scared because like my dude was dying, and I was like, fuck, here I go too. Like we're all just gonna, but and then like it's the same. Like I had a buddy of my cat who passed away, like from lung cancer, and like when he started getting sick, like I started getting shortness of breath. I started feeling like I couldn't breathe, and I'm actually aware of it now, where like if I know somebody that's close to me and they're going through something and then I start going through something, I start telling myself like, it's not real. It's all bullshit. It's just your way of dealing with shit. Like, you know, and I cope with it. But yeah, having my nuts scanned by some old bitch on the table, I won't forget it. I won't forget it. I want to say shout out to Dante on Facebook. I want to say shout out to Phil on our notes and on Twitter.
Instead of looking up there in the glass,
now,
he's
talking as if they're
He's
here.
talking to
The
like
empty chair.
We sit at a square table, and this one side is empty because there's 3 of us, and
Yeah.
that side is for the guest. And he just pointed at
true.
that side of the table
Who
as
else?
if Dante and Phil
Who
was
else
there.
is over here?
Ricky Tiki Timber,
Hey,
who's
what's up, Ricky?
going on 2 weeks of not sending a video through. I'll have you know.
Come on, Ricky. Don't get your card revoked.
And with that,
Flappy labias.
Hey, Steve Tank.
tight dick player.